everyone. Welcome back to another Nextlander podcast out there. I know you've been waiting for this one. You've been out there. You've been kind of refreshing the feeds. And you're like, oh, man, when does it go up? Is it up now? I need it. Well, here we are. Right when you need us. Whether you're getting in your car, going to work, you're listening on a bus, in your workout. I wanted to make sure I was here for you right now when you need it most. Alex Navarro, right?
It was like about this. It was like the most casual. Hello, everyone. All right, hey, how's it going? Like the you got the energy up a little bit after that, but I feel like the entry point was a little like, all right, here we go again. Let's do another one of these.
I was kind of into it actually.
Yeah,
it's like low stress. You know, it's just casual.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna usher in the casual podcasting movement here.
I'm having a real poured OJ in my cereal kind of morning. I made some real bad choices last night.
Mistakes.
We were discussing before this. I saw you on my friends list playing Resident Evil on the East Coast when I was approaching my I should really go to bed time on the West Coast with Resident Evil.
Made a mistake. I did a bad. I probably went to bed around 2, had to get up around 6:30, and also since it's now dark when I wake up, my mood gets even more sour. We don't need to go into it, but people have, aside from me, have also made mistakes with how time works. But
I've tried to restrain my increasingly militant opposition to daylight savings time this year, so we should probably move on.
That's funny because I feel the most militant I've maybe ever felt about it this year. I can't go all the way with it because my mother likes it, and mostly because she has seasonal affective disorder. So like when the sun goes away, she literally has to have a sun lamp to kind of keep her mood up during the winter. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to grant it to her. Everyone else, though.
Okay.
No, I just it's bad. It's all bad, and we should stop doing it.
I like dawn. You know, I like there being.
I never see it.
I like the dawn before I get up is my thing. It's why I'm not it's the one reason I'm not a farmer.
That time should not be 8 o'clock though.
That time should not be 8 o'clock. Let's just jump into Resident Evil then, right? Because it's the fresh. So I'll just give you my timeline. I had a break from Resident Evil for about 4 hours. And then I probably played, well, that's not true. Walked my kids to school, came back, immediately started playing Resident Evil again. Why was I doing that? Well, to answer that question, we are going to have to go into a little bit of Resident Evil 9 spoilers. Now, there's not going to be a lot of spoilers here. There might be some mechanical spoilers in here. I may talk about some of the things that I did after I beat the game. I did finish the game. I might talk mechanically about what that means, why I am continuing to play. So if you were on Resident Evil 9 Blackout, then you might want to skip ahead a little bit. But again, I'm not going to do any story spoilers. I'm not going to do anything even too deep mechanically because, Brad, I think you are not finished yet, and you still have some things to discover. Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know exactly how much there is, but let's
start with you.
What I can say is that I have played a ton of this game, and I am not very far for reasons we can get into.
Dude, let's do it. We're in it.
My PS5, this game does not show your playtime. I think it's one of those things where it rates you at the end of your run, right? Like you finish the game and it tells you what your playtime was, right? And gives you a grade. That's how Resident Evil usually does things, I believe.
Yes, I think it surfaces your playtime somewhere.
Yeah, not in line while you're playing it. Like not on your save file is just timestamped with the clock.
So that's true.
Anyway, long story short, my PS5 dashboard says, well, I didn't check it before I stopped last night, but it was probably 11 or 12 hours.
Okay.
At some point. Okay. But I just got to the first long Leon sequence.
Yeah.
Spent a ton of time in the first real Grace, loose in the mansion stuff.
Sure, that's a big part of this game. That is the mansion from 2 part of this game.
Right. So, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't want to know too much, but I would be surprised if there is anything that meaty in terms of slow pace exploration again later in the game. We'll see. But I turned the corner hard on that game. I think it's kind of amazing now.
I think it's kind of amazing.
And specifically in the way that it's kind of a weird stealth game as Grace.
Definitely.
I haven't played a ton of the Leon stuff. This is okay, I am far enough into the first real Leon run where I have gone through the same stuff I just did as Grace, basically. Like you switch Leon and then turn you loose in the same environment, basically.
The thing that triggered the memory for me was with Grace, you have jumped in the hole. It switched back to Leon, and you start in the attic.
Yes. But then immediately just get into, which I'll get to in a minute, I think is kind of an amazing choice. Like on paper, it sounds kind of bad. Like, oh, they're just going to make you play the other character in the same stuff you just did.
Yeah.
The way I was playing that game, at least, it turned out to be like the best thing they could have done.
So I'm going to take a second here again. If you're up to this point now, I'm going to say we're going to talk about some spoilers up to this point where Brad is at, because I want to talk to you about some things about what's happened so far. I think it will make a more interesting conversation. So again, if you're not up to that part or you want to bail, now's your chance. Here's your second warning. Brad warped cabinet doors.
Yeah, that was nice. I went around and opened every one of those I could find.
Yeah.
That I had come across. Sure.
Yeah, now you're like, what a happy surprise now.
Yeah, let me revisit the Leon stuff, because I can set it up better by talking about the Grace stuff first. Like, the combination of stealth mechanics, like this feels like, I'd have to think back through the Resident Evils, but this feels like the most explicitly a stealth game that style of Resident Evil has ever been. And we are distinguishing here between, I mean, what are the two Resident? What is the dichotomy of Resident Evil? What are the two Resident Evils? It's basically 1 and 4, right?
We're talking about the two main lines, because we're not talking about the multiplayer shit.
No, yeah, I mean, like the two
action.
It's the
horror.
It is the slower paced resource scarcity Resident Evil that it started as, and then it's the 4,
5.
Balls
I
out,
didn't play 6, but
balls out action. Like, it's really, do enemies drop ammo or not? Is basically the distinction.
Where would you put 7?
Yeah, because that's the thing. I think there is a distinction to be made between original 1 through 3 style, like plotting, puzzle solving, survival horror, and the sort of like 7 and 8 and parts of 9 first person kind. Like, they're more of a kind than the straight up Leon stuff are, but like I feel like that is a distinct third version of that game.
7, I experienced 7 in such a weird fashion that it's hard to think back on the playthrough. Like, I've actually been telling myself for years I should just play through 7 for real on a television, because playing it in VR and also on a stream was a weird way to play that game, and I think
7 is more actiony than Grace's parts. Now,
definitely. And 8,
I think it threads a needle. I think the first person games feel like they are kind of living in between the much more methodical early games and the more action-oriented stuff of like 4, 5, and 6.
Like, Grace definitely, what I remember of 7 and 8, Grace feels by far the most vulnerable and the least equipped to survive. Like,
Ethan could do some shit.
By a huge margin. Like, although I did end that long stretch in the mansion with more bullets and injectors than I expected, so maybe I was doing this to myself.
God, I love the injectors.
The injector's so fun. Who'd you inject, Brad? Again, spoiler.
Yeah,
Who'd you inject?
Yeah.
I injected the chef.
Yeah, you did. Did you inject Beefy Boy?
Beefy Boy. Oh, the chunk? Like the big guy? Yes, when I finally tried, dude, there are so many things we could talk about in my time with, I have just been like pulling apart the mechanics of the stealth in that stuff, in that part of in that section of Grace, because again, this feels like so much more of a stealth game than 7 and 8 did as far as first-person Resident Evils go.
For Grace.
Because the bullets are pretty limited.
Yeah.
I think I did have like 30-something bullets by the time I finished with Grace.
Pretty good. Without crafting any, just like naturally?
I never crafted bullets. I only crafted injectors. But I'm trying to think where to start with this.
We both played, when I played my main one, it was on the modern.
Yeah, I'm on modern standard modern. Like, it just feels, the way the zombies run routes and have specific behaviors you can exploit, combined with the lack of resources and how bullet spongy they are, combined with the fucking blister head phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like, all of that together makes it feel like a game. Like, I was just creeping around constantly. I was trying to basically see how little I could waste resources dealing with zombies and instead exploit their AI and kind of bob and weave. And
which I think they tempt you to do a lot. Especially with like the light zombie. Hey, you could draw the bottles, like
but there's definitely a lot of that. Some of that stuff I actually looked up. Like, for example, I didn't realize that you could the noise zombies.
Yeah,
the ones that hate
quiet.
You could actually get them to kill other zombies by throwing a bottle.
I had to mostly do it accidentally, but yes.
Yeah, there was one
and
spot.
You got your trophy.
Yeah, there was one spot where that came in very handy. But just by and large, I was just trying to conserve resources as much as I could. So it was just a constant process of I think the best example is the bar with the piano and the singing lady that roams back and forth. I spent a considerable amount of time and save scumming, or just reloading saves, I should say, until I finally got through that bar and got every item out of that bar without touching a zombie. Which was tricky.
Wait, so you didn't kill the singing lady?
I didn't kill all three of the zombies that go through that bar. I learned routes and watched sight lines enough.
And you never killed the singing lady?
This is where I'm getting to.
Okay.
Which I guess I'll jump ahead real quick to say the amount of time I spent with Grace going back and forth, optimizing different encounters, exploiting AI, trying to min-max crafting, all that stuff.
Yeah. Survive.
That's why I say the decision to just dump you back into that same environment as Leon is the best thing they could have possibly done, because I fucking cleared that entire mansion of enemies immediately out of spite.
So that's funny, because I didn't have a lot of those, like the singing ladies and stuff. I had killed with Grace. So they weren't around for Leon.
This is getting pretty specific, and I only can speak to this because I spent so much time staring at all of it. The conference room. Yeah, the second floor west. That's got 4 zombies in it, including the worst. There's 2 screaming, singing ladies, and the worst one is in there. She's the one that breaks glass when she hurts you.
Yes,
she actually causes damage when she screams.
Yeah,
that one I had to kill every zombie in there. I could not figure out another way around it, because you have to.
She screams like as soon as you come in.
Not only that, but there's also 3 other zombies between you and her, and there is a single choke point that you just can't get through. I didn't see any other way.
There are some areas where they really stack you up against a zombie.
Yeah. It definitely felt like there were a couple sort of resource choke points where you have to just. There's really no other way than, okay, all right, I'm gonna have to burn 20 bullets and 2 injectors here. There's no other way.
Like maybe you could kite them out and inject them if they turn really cheese it. Maybe.
Yeah. So there were spots where I had to just full on fight, but by and large I was kind of, again, just. It was not exactly a pacifist run, but I was just really enjoying, again, just sort of picking apart every room almost felt like its own puzzle, like stealth puzzle, basically. And that's what I was having a ton of fun with. That really reached its peak at the very end of that sequence. When you open up I think it's called the rehabilitation wing, where everything is dark and red lights, and
your defense mission.
It's where you have to carry the little girl
Emily,
to drop her off. After you go through there, they open up cells and a bunch of new zombies that are all in sort of institutional looking sweatshirt guys come out. Basically, they repopulate the area with more zombies, right? After you come out of there. Just, again, the minor spoilers for not super far into the game, but
we're into it enough.
Yeah.
You open up an area. There's an objective in there that you have to bring the little girl who is blind to, because there's Braille and you need her to read it for you. You can't fight with the little girl.
No.
So you have to kind of leave her in the safe room and clear a path. Also, they repopulate, again, that whole area with a bunch more guys. And Chunk, the sort of... I don't know if I'd quite call him Nemesis, because he doesn't... Or Mr. X, because he doesn't roam randomly in the same way.
Yeah.
There is something incredibly mechanical about the enemy and route design in this game, because they all run very predictable routes.
Like that chef who just patrols.
Chef, pretty much all of them, but especially Chef and Chunk, they just run a very rigid route back and forth, which is not interesting from a dynamic standpoint, but very interesting from an exploitation standpoint.
And I think thematically, for what they're going for, appropriate with this, people are just stuck in loops for what they were doing before, right?
You can certainly hand wave it away in universe as their brains are fried, they're zombies, they're just going to repeat the same.
Or kind of zombies, but they hold on to something, right?
They're going to repeat the one road action that they remember from life is the thing they're going to do over and over. But so I don't know how much time you spent after you have to go get her and carry her through there.
Again, I did a lot of zombie murder, so I had a path already.
So this is the thing I spent way too much time on last night. I could be much farther in the Leon stuff if I had not. I don't know if you noticed that Chunk will kill the zombies for you.
I don't think I ever gave him time.
So
I injected that MFer as soon as I saw him.
There's 5 new zombies that flood the halls between you and where you need to go, and Chunk shows back up and starts running a route. He will full on just run them over for you.
And completely
and kill them.
A limit, but kill or just put them down.
Well, so this is where I'm going with this. those institutional zombies, the ones that come out of the rehabilitation wing, for whatever reason, are like I don't know what the game logic under the hood is, but they are like 1,000,000 times more likely to turn into blister heads. In fact, they are basically all guaranteed to become blister heads very quickly. And blister heads are fucked in this game. Like, forget even fighting one.
Especially for Grace.
As Grace, you might as well forget it. It takes like 2 clips of bullets and an injector, and they're like instant kill if they touch you, practically.
Yeah.
So Chunk killed all those zombies for me, and I was like, rad, I'm just going to kind of duck around him and carry her through. And then all of a sudden there were 5 blister heads roaming the area.
Yeah.
And then I started trying to get him to kill the blister heads.
Did he?
I don't think he ever fully killed one, because I think I lost count, but he ran over one like probably half a dozen times, and it kept getting back up because they have so much. That was
my question.
They have so much health that I finally gave up on that. So at that point, I finally was just like, fuck it, because I had made 6 Requiem bullets at that point, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'd made as many Requiem bullets as you can make at that point. I think I had 6 or 7.
Iron or whatever you got?
The rare metal.
Yeah.
So I had like 7 injectors, 6 Requiem bullets, and like 60 regular bullets, and I was just like, fuck this. And
you've been scooping blood, my man.
And I went through there and killed, not everything, but as much as I could to just clear a path, because at a certain point I was just like, I'm amusing myself here, but this is ridiculous. I have to move on.
I think it's funny. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
And then I was going to say, and then that's why the second I got control of Leon and they turned me loose back in the mansion, I went through there and stealth killed every blister head I could find. Like, I murdered everything that moved in that mansion the second I had access to Leon, who gets free stealth kills, tons of ammo.
Yes. And also, not only actual stealth kills, but gets a downed kill. If you
like
get him
he beheads them, which stops them from coming back.
Yeah, if you get them to their knees, which is great.
Yeah.
I found I found in this even more than other Resident Evil games, less with Grace, because her shove really doesn't do any damage, but just kind of gets them on the ground.
It's a knockover.
It's mostly it's mostly crowd control, or it does. Actually, I don't think it. No, you can't inject when they're on the ground. You can inject when they're on their knees.
You can inject when they're on their knees. That's right. So I found
can you not on their ground?
No, not when they're not when they're fully prone. Then you can just attack them while they're down, but they'll get back up. But you only get the inject prompt when you do the kind of melee push to their knees thing.
Or if they're down,
or shoot them in the legs rather. If you shoot them in the legs until they drop to their knees, then you can inject them.
Or if you've done enough damage where they look like they're dead, but they might come up later, you can basically torch them. But I have found the shoot them in the legs a lot, almost better than the headshots in this game. Oftentimes,
yes.
Especially when a leg comes off, and I'm like,
oh,
great.
What?
Oh yeah,
I never shot a leg off. Interesting.
Oh yeah, it comes off and sometimes gives you more blood.
I did read. I pulled up some like IGN 15 tips for Requiem you should know thing, and I didn't realize apparently the blood yield does increase based on where and how you damage them.
But I could not find a repeatable way to shoot the legs off. Sometimes it would feel like a sponge, and I'd be like, forget this. I'm just gonna. Sometimes I do the thing. I also with Grace on the playthrough that we're playing on the difficulty. I think the knifing on the ground is worthless. I think it's just the in a Resident Evil game, I would usually get him on the ground and just start stabbing him in the head, right? Mm-hmm. I found the makeshift knife just breaks so easily, and
quickly,
I'd rather have it if somebody grabs me, or just to break vases that don't have a prompt on it.
I assume, were you using the chef knife trinket?
No, I got rid of it. I didn't use any trinkets because I needed that inventory space.
The knives are way more useful when you use that thing because they do more damage and last. Yeah, absolutely. Like my loop once I killed the chef and got the knife trinket, I would basically wear a knife down to 1 hit away from dead. Yeah, breaking, and then break it down into scrap and make an injector out of it.
Oh, that's why you had so many injectors.
Well, partially. I only did that twice because I still had 3 knives in my box by the time I finished with Grace.
Okay,
but they do way more damage with that trinket. It's noticeable.
Oh, good. Okay.
I would basically shoot a guy in the leg 2 or 3 times to get him to his knees, shove him to the ground, and then stab him to death.
And it was effective. You could make it through a knife.
You could kill a guy in 3 or 4 knife hits that way.
Oh, cool. Okay. But not a blister head.
Absolutely not. No fucking. The only way I ever killed in blister head as Grace was mostly stealth injections. I think maybe in one case I dropped one to its knees and injected it, or twice maybe.
I sprint as soon as one goes down. I sprint over and would inject it.
Fucking forget shooting one to death. Like they take so much unless you burn a Requiem bullet.
So when you did the Emily, or when you did the put her down to do the last puzzle box, right? Did you, since you had cleared a lot of that area, did you have to do a defense mission as well, like hold people off, or did she just?
Yes, you mean in the when you have her?
Yeah,
no, that's scripted. You have to
they
spawn like 5 guys for you to kill.
Okay,
and then the security guy turns into a blisterhead. Did that happen for you? That has to be scripted. Basically, the security guy's dead at his desk when you get there.
On the desk, and
it's in the room where you need Emily to read the thing.
Yeah.
Like he's dead at his desk when you get there the first time, and then he's gone the second time. And then he's one of the zombies. It's the guy in the suit.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the zombies.
I just murdered everybody.
He's one of the zombies that attacks you when you.
The guy with the bracelet.
No.
He's not the level 3 guy?
Oh, who did have the? Oh, maybe. Oh, yes, but that's before. Yeah, you're right.
That's the first time.
Yes, but that is before. I'm talking about that holdout mission.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm just kind of unpacking what they scripted to happen here. But basically, you fight off like 5 more zombies, including him, and then he instantly turned into a blisterhead, which I assume is a scripted thing. Anyway, I honestly find the stealth and combat design pretty fascinating in this game.
I think Grace is a lot of fun to play through, and I think she's the most jump scary and horror thing. Like,
for sure.
You get a lot of good. That bulldozer is very fun.
Yeah, that was a cool sequence.
Some other scenes. I think the stomping girl is much more Nemesis like the one that is.
I haven't seen her since the kind of prologue mission where it's like you spend 15 minutes there with her before you move on or something.
Yeah, so I think her behavior is much more like you were describing.
I would believe that, where it's just kind of random. I have not seen that in practice since she re-entered the story.
So there's that, and then Leon is just like. I won't talk about some of the mechanics later on, but man, he is just a tornado. He is just. I still kind of don't love the way his controls feel. Like something about the movements.
It is a little loose.
It's just real herky jerky to me in a way I don't love, but I can get past it because again, it's just so liberating to be able to just lay waste to all the stuff that was very annoying and getting in your way before.
Got an unlimited hatchet.
I do feel like that is specifically why they have done this game split, is this idea that we want this very distinct difference between your kind of Shaggy-esque sort of like, I can kind of get my way through here, but I'm not that capable protagonist, and someone who can just come in and just fucking wreck shop as soon as you are done doing that. I still think, based on what I've played of it so far, the way they are meeting that stuff out is a little lumpy in a way that It's just a very strange blend of those two characters. But at the same time, it is really satisfying when you get in there with Leon. You can just be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck all this shit. I'm just going ham on everything.
I think later on you'll spend a lot more time with Leon. I think later on some of the stuff really matures gameplay wise.
Interesting. Okay.
In a way that you're like, this is really, really 2 different games when you're playing these characters.
I'm really curious to see what the split continues to be from a pacing standpoint as I go further, because for a while I was suspecting like, oh, this game's going to be 80% Grace. It's going to be long Grace stretches of exploration and then 30 minutes of Leon fucking shit up, rinse, repeat. But I'm not 100% convinced at that. Like I could see it getting more Leon heavy late. In fact, that's probably would be the most Resident Evil thing to do, would be for it to get much more Leon heavy in the back half.
So I'm not going to go into what actually happens, but I will say I beat the game, and I'll talk more about it as you progress later. So maybe next week or the week after when we come back to really go into the details of that. But I immediately started playing again because when you beat it, like a lot of other Resident Evil games, you're getting points and doing challenges, and then you have like your Capcom Superstore, right? Like, hey, how much dumb stuff do you want to pile on top of Resident Evil? And I'm like, all the dumb stuff, right?
It's the thing that if you're like me, when you see that all at the end of the game, you're like, I'm going to play through this 5 more times. I'm going to get all this. This is awesome. I know this game now. But then like 3 other games come out the next week, and I never actually go back to it.
So there's one, and again, this is not really spoiler, but these are some challenges you can get. Since we talked about most of the mechanics in here, I'll say the one I'm trying to do now is beat the game in under 4 hours. Get to the ending in under 4 hours.
Okay.
Don't use any healing items. And don't use that blood mechanic at all with Grace.
Wow. All concurrently, or those are all separate?
I'm trying to do them all concurrently, so I'm playing on casual to be like, I'm going to see if I can knock all of these out on casual, because I feel like casual is the one where I'm not going to be able, the most chance to not use any healing, the most chance to not have to craft anything, and the most chance to beat this very quickly, I think. My whole goal is just to try and get unlimited ammo for the guns. That's what I want. And then I might go try it on the hardest difficulty once I have unlimited ammo for the guns. Maybe unlimited ammo for the guns might really help with trying to beat it in 4 hours, but this is what I'm trying first.
Yes, I've been there before, where you try to do as much at once as you can, and about halfway through you have the
make a concession.
Unfortunate realization that like there's no way to do all of these at once.
I may have bit off more than I could chew. The good thing is I'm past where you are in terms of I just finished the part with Grace where you are when you jump in that hole. And so I do feel like crafting wise, in terms of the blood crafting, hopefully I'm getting a little bit past that. It makes it such a weird game when you're not doing that, because you're not picking up any scrap. I just put the blood thing in the bin. Yeah. I'm not picking up any scrap, no scrap iron. I'm not doing any blood collection at all. I just am using the bullets you find. Even the transfusion stuff, I tested it, counts as using the blood collector thing. So you can't even transfuse, you can't find those sachets of blood or whatever.
Now hang on, this is a new game plus?
It's basically just a new game. Just a new game.
Is it just new game with whatever trinkets you've earned? Like,
so you do bring in stuff that I don't want to go into too much of the things, because I think they might be fun to discover, but you can buy some weapons and items from the superstore that you would bring into the game.
Got it. Okay.
So I do have some things that are making this actually viable.
Got it. Me. Okay.
And it is, they do change up. They know that you have beaten the game, so even when you start a new game, some stuff with Leon even changes when you start the game over. So they are recognizing that you have beat this game already, because not narratively, just mechanically, some stuff is changed. But I don't want to tell you what, because I feel like that's for later on. And I'm also now playing in different costumes as Grace and Leon. I finally put the different costumes. I went with the noir costumes. I think might have been part of the bundle or whatever. But I've got 4 hours. I'm already burned 2 freaking hours getting. I'll just say, for people who want to know where I am, this is the part that I was going to get to where we're talking about Leon. I'm playing again as Leon, and without too much spoilers for you, Brad, I just say I have to figure out how to find pieces for a detonator, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like 2+ hours in already. I wonder how quickly I can smash through this Leon stuff, because Leon does play like an action game, right? So like Grace, especially if you're really tight on ammo, like you just said, you kind of have to sneak a little bit, and you kind of have to take your time. And she's pretty fragile. Leon can just, shoot
Leon.
some dudes.
He can Leon.
Yeah, he can kind of Leon. So I'm really hoping, I know how big this area was for me later on to go through, that what I'm about to go through, and how much more of the game there is. And I'm like, man, I don't want it. This is going to be real tight with an hour and a half left to get through all of this stuff. And so I'll be very curious to see if I actually make it. But I super enjoyed playing as Grace on casual and trying to do this run, because I was just Requiem shot everybody. Like, chef,
yeah. I would think so.
Like, chunky boy, like blam blam. Like,
because I guess there are basically 0. There's like 1 injector ever if you don't craft, right? Like you only get the 1.
Got 1.
Man.
I think actually I did use the injector on Chef. I saved it for him. But like half those things you open up, it's like, oh, cool, there's an herb in here that I can never use. Great.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of scrap that I'll never use.
Man, that's rough. I think in that case, I would just be inclined to try to avoid everything humanly possible, even Chef and stuff like that, and come back with Leon and clear a path.
Well, so some stuff, since I'm also doing it on 4, trying to do it really quick, I've got to clear some. There's, you know how much backtracking there is in that mansion, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, no, this hallway just needs to be clear.
Yeah,
I just need this guy out of the way. I can't, and I also, since I can't heal, I can't get bottlenecked anywhere. I need to be able to, so areas that had a table in it, I was like, cool, I can leave zombies here because I could just do the round the table thing.
Right. Yeah.
Hallways, I got to clear this out. I'm not going to make it through because she can take like 3 hits and then she's down.
Yeah. Challenges, whatever challenges you're trying to do notwithstanding, I'm actually super curious. I might mess with this. Like, I'm super curious what the absolute minimal Grace run into Leon scenario looks like, where Chef is still up, Chunk is still up, like every.
Oh.
I would love to see what the maximal Leon killing everything in that mansion scenario looks like.
I'd be curious too. I mean, yeah, because like I said, I mostly eliminated stuff. I will also say that game, there are parts of that game that I was like, this is gonna be a long way, but you keep all the notes and the puzzles all stay the same. So you actually don't have to go seek out like those boxes, you know, to get the stones. Mm-hmm. You just remember the code or just look in your notes for the codes for those stones for the doors. You don't have to go, you know, find all the like star, moon, star, or whatever. You're just like, yeah, I remember what this is, or like this is this. Yeah, you know, you still have to find the corrosive acid to do the thing, but and skipping all the cutscenes, you know, it moves. You got to be on a clip here. We've got an agenda. Mm-hmm. So actually, right before we did this morning, after I dropped the kids off, I was like, all right, maybe I can actually see if I could do this, because it was about 8:30 when I got home, and I was like, let me see if I can actually do this. But then some other stuff came up, and I had to put it down, and I'm not sure if the game keeps track of time while it's paused, you know, and the whole thing. But I'm digging it, and I dig the playthrough I'm doing now, where I know there's a bunch of messed up stuff coming up. I have no idea how I'm gonna get through it with Grace later on without being able to craft stuff, because when I did it, like you were saying, Brad, there's injectors for days. I think it was great being able to take these guys down. For those playing, I think what happens, I've never been back at full health the entire game now, right? But I do believe it takes you from danger back to caution, at least, when you checkpoint and switch and come back, which is nice. So they don't always start you back at danger.
So you don't. Sorry, go ahead. You don't even keep your what are they called? Like the
permanent upgrades?
The permanent injectors, the stabilizer or steroid. Like you don't even keep those on a second run.
I'm not sure, because I'm not sure. Sometimes the menu is contextual when it shows you your stats on stuff. Like,
in the inventory, it depends on what you're selecting. If you're selecting like a weapon, it won't show. It'll show the stats for the weapon, but if you put it on like a healing item or something, it'll show
your health.
It'll show your health and your gun and max health stats.
So I've been trying to go very quickly, and I did get the two that are in the parlor room. I did grab those because I had the coins for it, but in order to build the other one, I think I need blood. So
yes, you wouldn't be able to build more of those.
Yeah.
But I was mainly wondering if the one you buy from the parlor would count as healing or not.
It does heal you. Not the steroid.
It does heal you. Yeah, it heals you to full when you increase your max health. That does not count as healing.
Unless I actually didn't get it, but I'm pretty sure I did, because it was the first one I got, because I was like, this run I need help.
Yeah, because if it doesn't count as healing, that would basically be one free heal.
Yeah, right. I thought they were going to have a loophole for using the transfusions instead of collecting blood, and I saved it and I tried it. I am now using every save slot as I go down, because 2 reasons. One, I do have to reload sometimes where I'm like, I got hit, I got to reload. Like, I'm just saving a lot and reloading a lot.
Yep.
Like I can't, I'm never going to make it through this part, the next part, without getting hit. So I need to save a hit for this part. The other part is, and I'm just going to talk about this kind of talk around it. There is a challenge in this that you get that is even dumb for Resident Evil and Capcom stuff. I'll just say it's a multi-step thing. And like one of the things, I'm not going to give away the stuff you haven't seen yet, but one of the things is like, flush a particular toilet 8 times. Right? And it's like to complete the steps in this thing, right? And it's multiple things like that, but it gets you a ton of points, like 20,000 points.
Jeez. So it's worth flushing that toilet.
If you can do it. I already messed it up on this run. I don't have the time to go flush a toilet 8 times.
Yeah, no, you ain't got toilet flushing time here.
But I am saving it a lot and using a lot of slots in case I just wanted to zip back into another, like afterward, and see if I can save it. I think it's called the final puzzle is the challenge. I just looked it up to be like, what do you have to do for this?
Interesting.
And then it was one of those things where it looks like I didn't spend too much time doing all the meta stuff on it, but the audience had to figure out how to do it. Like, how do you do this? And it's just a bunch of weird stuff like that. Wait here, kneel, right? It's like, kneel in this by the end of the bridge and, for 2 seconds and watch the thing. I think this game is really cool. I think this is maybe one of my favorite Resident Evil games not since the 2 remake, because the 2 remake was very, very good and fairly recent. I think 2 remake is up there on my favorite Resident Evil games, and this is up there as well. I think it's very stupid. I think I'm not.
But like, it's really it's like just living in the stupid. Like, it's not. There's nothing about it that feels unintentional. Like they are celebrating the stupid with this one.
It's not really pretending to be something it's not. I saw a post on Blue Sky that said Resident Evil is schlock, like not in a negative way necessarily.
Yeah.
It's always been schlocky. Like, horror. That's the thing. Like, go all the way back to the beginning. Go back to that fucking FMV footage they were playing around with. Like, that is pure schlock, baby.
Yeah.
The greatest thing about the Resident Evil universe to me is just how fucking dead serious and rational the characters try to make everything, right?
Yeah.
Everything that's going on.
Otherwise, it's just a comedy.
Oh, no. They are like, when they say things like T-virus and all the other viruses, they are not like, what the fuck were you talking about?
Yeah,
they're like, no, this is what happened.
It's definitely part of the tone. It's like the characters take it all very seriously. The game itself kind of does not.
Yeah. Right. I mean, there is a little wink and nod sometimes with Leon in this one because, he's been through the shit so many times. Like, here we go again. Like, of course their heads explode. But they grew on me, the characters. I didn't love Leon and Grace by the end as their characterizations in this game.
I think they're trying something with Grace. I'm just not sure it fully lands because I think with her character, there is an interesting idea there in a person who is just so cartoonishly anxiety ridden. Like, I think you can do something with that. The problem I have with her has more to do with mechanics. Like, I think the portrayal is fun, but I cannot deal with like how slowly she moves. I cannot deal with just how ineffectual she kind of is at the very beginning. Look, as you start to get more weapons and start getting those, injectors and stuff, it becomes a little bit more manageable. But just something about her feel at the very beginning really was off-putting to me. I've gotten used to it, but I just think they haven't quite 100% dialed in making that character fun in the early bits of that game.
Yeah, well, 2 things. I would say she's not supposed to feel fun because she is supposed to be so underpowered for what she's up against. Like,
no, I know that's intentional. I'm just saying. I'm not sure that they still made it feel as playable as I would like.
The other thing is I spent more time than I can remember with a game tweaking controls until I was happy with the way that game plays, and like good on them for putting in the amount of customization for controls they did. Like, it's second to none. It is really, I don't think I've ever seen a console game with this many options for tweaking controls, but also it's a good thing they're in there because I did not like the feel of it very much at all until, like, I think last night I was still maybe occasionally,
oh, really?
Or maybe it was 2 nights ago that I was still tweaking stick sensitivity just a little bit to get it where I wanted it.
I will say on casual, this really helps with, this helps with the speed running part of it. By default, it turns on that lock onto headshot.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that in there and declined to turn it on because I felt like I was giving in. But
I don't think you would
seems
like turning
pretty nice.
It on. It is
it a super,
almost
just a super
nice.
assist?
Oh, dude, it's like you just hit the trigger and it's like zap right to the headshot.
Yeah,
but it also works. It also works at range. Like you don't even have to be that close. Like you're just like, and if you go down, it just locks onto their knees. It's great for when you're like I ain't got time, man. I need to like pop and go. I can't wait to talk more about it as you get further along in it, because I think they do interesting things to even make the gameplay more divergent, between Grace and Leon, to the point where it really is very much two completely different experiences. I just feel like we talked about to start this off, Resident Evil has become two different types of experiences, and they just put them both in this game. Whether it's to great effect or not is going to be, I think, opinion based, but I think it works for me. I like the moving back and forth between the two characters, and while I didn't love Grace or Leon independently, together they're such a caricature of characters that you have
so wildly divergent from one another.
Yeah. You have one that is just this comical portrayal of somebody who is in way over their head and under threat the entire time. And
I mean, let's just be real. It's Zoinks coded.
Yeah.
Like that's what her character
the entire
is.
time. And the other one is Snake Plissken, right? Who is just like in control and is like, yeah, man, throw this up. There was one scene that I loved.
Is he Snake Plissken? I feel like he's more closer to like Rhoda Mitra in Doomsday or Guy Pearce in Lockdown. Like these sort of like a Snake Plissken.
Isn't Snake Plissken like? Yeah. But Brad, this actually happens explicitly later on, but you've basically done it for yourself, where there's a part where it's very, very tense and shitty for Grace to go through, and then you kind of go through it as Leon. And he does something that's just like, I'm going to kill every one of you motherfuckers. He just kind of basically says it aloud. And you're like, yeah, you are. Let's just go.
Right. It's good to know that design philosophy is just text at some point.
Yeah, at some point. It's not quite like that because I don't want to give it away, but it is pretty much what you're doing, which is like, yeah, go have fun with Leon. He's got the extra ammo for it.
That's why we gave him to you.
Yeah, and that hatchet.
Yeah.
We should give it away. All right. We'll talk more. We're not going to be doing a podcast next week, a live one or one in the moment. We'll have the Never Been a Better podcast one up. But when we come back, hopefully we'll talk more Resident Evil when we come back from break, from the podcast break, not this break. It's the breaks.
Listen, in 2 weeks, you will probably hear more about this game.
And I'm going to see, maybe I will know by the end of tonight if I have done it in 4 hours, baby. Woo, what a race. And so before I end, I will say, Brad, when you're playing, this game does a lot of really player friendly things. Like the map is great. We've talked about how great the map is a lot. Those trickle down to a lot of things. And when you're tracking these challenges, they just have all the stats during your current playthrough. How many times you've used the heal, how many times you haven't used the heal. And also it just keeps track of how long it thinks your playthrough is based on, where it is. So I can just check that thing all the time and be like, you're at 2 hours, 19 minutes. You're at 2 hours, 22 minutes. Oh, that took you 5 minutes. Like you're at, and it's really, I think, very player friendly in that sense.
Yep.
Same thing with shooting the raccoon guys and getting the documents. Doesn't matter where you are chronologically in your save history. If you get them, they're in every save, which I think is pretty awesome. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk briefly about some other games, then we'll get to the news. So stick around. All right, we are back, and we've got some more to talk about because we have another big release that has kind of taken the world by storm. Sony's Bungie's Marathon is out officially, and at the time of this recording, this is kind of just a weird thing, getting close to being able to be reviewed if you stick by the request by Bungie to review it.
Request.
It's a request.
They didn't try to block anyone from doing it.
I think it's because they want to add, and they were rolling out endgame stuff, right?
Yeah. We got one email about this, but I guess we'll just address it now. Somebody wrote in asking, like, have you ever seen an embargo like this where they asked, like, don't want you to review it until 2 weeks after it came out or whatever? Like, I actually went and read the language in because they sent us review codes for this game. Like, it is a very soft request. Yeah.
It's like, hey, please, there's this other stuff coming out.
It's not a hard embargo or anything like that. It is
absolutely not. There is no embargo on any coverage. However, we ask you hold your full review until you play Cryo Archive, Marathon's pinnacle endgame zone and experience. Like, It's kind of exactly what happened with Destiny 1, as I remember. They didn't put Vault of Glass in there until like 2 weeks or more after Destiny came out, and I think there might have been similar, like, hey, you kind of haven't seen the full launch game until you play this raid. Like, please, consider that in your review plans or whatever, but like, there's absolutely no, like, they're not going to, like, I highly doubt they're going to, like, blacklist anybody who runs a review before this is out or whatever.
I'm trying to remember. There were at least 1 or 2 instances, I feel like, throughout the years where some publisher got a hair up their ass about the idea of, hey, the embargo for this is somehow after launch day. But it was like, it was a long time ago, and I feel like it was roundly rejected by just about every reviewer and other people, like, when that has happened outside of specific online-only multiplayer experiences. I'm talking about games that aren't that. Yeah,
like the GameSpot standard for that kind of situation ever arising in the past was like, we can just go buy the game the day it comes out and do whatever we want with it. Like, fuck you.
Or if a customer can buy it, we can write a review.
We can write about it, yeah. But we would also usually hold multiplayer stuff, until we had a chance to try it in a live environment.
100%. Like, outlets are very well adapted to this sort of thing at this point. Like now, the sort of review in progress thing has been a thing for like 15 years or something at this point.
But the most I see, and like, we don't do a lot of reviews, but the most you see with code requests is, is like, hey, there's a day 1 patch, right? That's kind of what I see a lot these days. And even less of that. Like, hey, this will have a launch day patch that'll come up, or servers might, wait for a server patch or something. But anyway, the gameplay of Marathon. The game is an extraction shooter. It is get in there, first person, Bungie, nice old Bungie gunplay. I think anyone...
It plays like a dream. Like, it really feels...
Very solid.
Maybe even tighter than Destiny did on PC.
Very solid. And I think aside from that as a big bullet point of like, hey, I think there's some of the best in the business on feel and stuff for this.
Oh, yeah. Have been for a long time.
Yeah, have been for a long time. Is the aesthetic choices they've made. It's very striking. It is very intentional.
How do you feel about the menus?
Choices.
They're okay. Like, as I've gotten used to them, they're fine. Like, it's maybe a little busy.
I'd say more than a little busy in my taste.
But like, it's like everything else. Once you get a feel for it and learn where everything is, it all becomes second nature.
I'd say it's probably a little more style over usage, like, but yeah, I think once you get a feel for what's going on, the bigger thing for me is in learning a new extraction shooter. And this one with its layer of style on top of it is more the loot. But do I keep this? Do I not keep this? Is this stuff? But they do help that out in the gameplay. When you come back, they're basically like, this is all junk, we're selling it.
Yes. Like, generally, I feel like it's impossible not to compare this to Arc Raiders, the extraction shooter that has become a phenomenon. Finally, one of these games. I mean, let's set Escape from Tarkov aside. That's for insane people.
Yeah.
We're not like, Tarkov, as successful as it is not something I would call mainstream. Arc Raiders is mainstream. Like, they've sold 12 million copies of that game. It's huge. The loot aspect of this game feels so much more streamlined than it does in Arc Raiders. It's like night and day to me. Like, how much they do for you in managing that stuff, and also how much clearer I feel like the iconography is in terms of, like, everything is very clearly identifiable as, like, there's an icon for consumables, there's an icon for valuables. Like,
I haven't gotten that language down yet. They're Marathon's language.
It's just up in the little, I think it's the top left corner of each icon. Like, it has a type. You can also sort and filter by those types, of course, but yeah, like, it auto sells all the valuables at the end of a match.
That's great.
Like, it makes it pretty clear what is a consumable, what's what. I found it pretty easy to, like, the mousing over items and seeing which slots they go in is very helpful. Like, I think that's communicated quite well. So I wish you could mouse over the slot and have it show all the items that could go into that slot as well would be nice, but not super critical. The looting stuff in Arc Raiders basically made me not play Arc Raiders. Like,
I mean, that is not an uncommon complaint, and it's one I have as well, where I'm constantly managing inventory, because in Arc Raiders, I'm never quite sure if on the next step of a project I'm going to need something, and it was a pain in the ass to get it. So I never know what I should sell or not or break down.
It just felt like such mental overhead to sort through that giant grid of icons after every run and figure out what I needed and blah, blah, blah.
Or like you just wind up going outside of the game to be like, how much arc coolant do I need? Do I need this? Can I break this down? And this, I haven't played enough Marathon to know if that becomes an issue later on. And I should say, it's not arc raiders. It is more of a, would you say it's a hero based kind of?
It's definitely more class based.
Yeah.
It's definitely 6 shells or whatever plus Rook, I think is the number.
Yeah, so they have their own abilities and they have special stuff that it seemed like, I don't know if Brett, have you played enough yet to know if how much gear becomes specialized for your class that you have, or how much is interchangeable?
I haven't played a ton I've only played solo since we streamed it. I haven't played in a group yet, but I can't speak to higher level class dynamics, but I mean, it's definitely dropping enough implants or whatever that category is that's class specific.
Okay, and then those just keep up in your inventory. They're not, because it's not a separate inventory for each character.
No, it's one vault. Yeah.
But the main loop of the game is get some contracts. There are factions. You get your contract. You go jump into the world. Bring your buddies along.
Yeah, at its core, it really is the same thing as Arc Raiders of like take on quests, go in there, loot as much as you can, try to do a quest and get out.
The Arc Raiders quests never.
Yeah, are they? I don't know.
Great. I mean,
I finally got a. I think I'm only like season level 6, which is a whole other thing. How much they're focusing on seasonal reset stuff in this is making me a little wary, because am I really going to have it in me to come back to this over multiple seasons, knowing that all my progress is just going to go away in however many months? I don't know. But anyway, I'm only like season level 6, so I'm not super duper deep in, but I finally got a contract that's like 3 distinct objectives.
Okay.
And one of them is like kill a guy to make him drop a shipping manifest, like
not
go
just
over
push
here.
The button.
Yeah, it's a little bit more elaborate than go up to this terminal and press a button and then leave, but not much.
But I guess I meant more for me. I think Bungie is delivering somewhat on their campaign towards the pre-launch of filling the world with context for what you're doing. I think Arc Raiders, while I love that world, the quest structure in that always feels like forever quests. Like, oh, you're like, hey, go kill 7 of these things, go kill 6 of these. And their world, they are, I think, handling a little more lovingly in terms of how they want to present it in Marathon. And I've not played a bunch, but you can kind of see an arc in Marathon, not Arc Raiders, for where they're trying to go. I'd like to see more of it. There's so much in their codex in Marathon. Everything has descriptions in their world. They've spent a lot of time on that, and I like that stuff. Some people are just going to want to jump in and jump out and just button through, and like we were talking about during the stream, it's like, look, a lot of the missions we took were like, get to this thing, hold down the button, wait for something to happen, then leave, right? And okay. But I like their faction videos. I like their dumb, was it New Caloric?
New Caloric. Yeah, Cyber Acme and New Caloric are the first 2 factions.
I like their videos, their intro videos for those. I like their little hacker guy who is like, hey, man, I'm hacking your feed.
All the art and character design, like I definitely see why people are responding to it, because it's just different, like it just looks not entirely like anything else out there at the moment.
And like we said at the very top, the gunplay feels pretty good.
It feels fantastic.
And the PvE is actually really hard.
Yeah.
Arc Raiders is difficult in its own way, but this is surprisingly hard.
Arc Raiders is a way more interesting game to me, but this game is executed really well for what it's doing, where like the enemy AI and the damage model and the realistic like flight dynamics of the drones and like all the stuff in Arc Raiders feels kind of like it's pushing some of that stuff forward in a way that this game feels more standard. Like the guys you're fighting are just sort of taking up positions and shooting back at you.
Yes, feel like they could be analogs for human.
Yeah, and you're headshotting them. Like they just sort of feel more like standard shooter enemies. But yes, they are hard and they do that well. So they're still really satisfying to fight, even if the dynamics feel a little more, rote, I guess I would say.
Which is, I think, good, because you back me up on here, Brad. I don't remember exactly, and I don't want to get this wrong but it was something like 12 players per map.
I think it's 12.
And that's
in
not
the squads.
That's in squads, right? So that's
teams of 3.
If you're in a 3-person squad, that's 4 teams out there, which isn't a lot, and we were bumping up against people when we played, 50% of the time, would you say?
Yeah, it was not. I mean, we were streaming on a Monday afternoon, so it's not that high traffic,
launch,
maybe. And like I said, I've only played solo since that stream, so I can't speak to. But I was seeing players pretty regularly in solo.
And they were aggressive.
Yes,
okay.
Pretty much.
This is not Arc Raiders where we're making friends.
No, absolutely. In fact, yes. Like that. This is another way that I think Arc Raiders is more interesting than this. That sort of parlay that you end up having occasionally in Arc Raiders just doesn't feel like it's even possible here. I think some of it is just the way this game plays is probably putting people in more of a competitive shooter mindset.
Yeah,
because my experience is it's basically just been shoot on sight in this game. Every time you see anybody or they see you.
Okay, nobody's like, hey, friendly. Just trying.
I have not had a single instance of somebody even using voice in this game. It is just they see me and start shooting at me.
You mean right? Because it does have proximity chat for other players not on your squad. If you want to open the mic up. Yeah, people seem to be loving this, which is great.
Like the response is like it's a little weird to me because it doesn't seem that different from the alpha a year ago or whatever it was when the response was not positive at all to that game.
A lot has changed in the last year,
but like
maybe people are finally ready.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but people like generally the response, at least anecdotally as I've seen, has been like wildly positive to this. And I get it. Like the more I play the solo, I had like one real nail biter of a run solo where I literally was one hit from death. By the time I extracted, I had a ton of good stuff on me, and I survived 2 fights toward the end
with players.
Which is what got me down to that 1 health. Was I barely got through a couple of firefights with other players.
Were you on your feet during extraction, or were you down?
Yeah, I was up. I don't think you can be down.
You can be crawling in
solo.
I did that during the tutorial.
In solo, I mean.
I don't know. Out?
I don't know that there is any down but not out in solo because there's nobody to res you.
Nobody can res you?
I can't remember because I died the run after that, and I think you just die immediately. I forget.
Okay.
But anyway, like I had no healing left.
Bummer,
I was just crawling not literally, but I was just like clawing my way to that extraction because I was like, I have all this good stuff on me and I really don't want to die, and just barely made it out, and it was super tense, and that's exactly what that genre is supposed to do. Are there
in your experience playing with us and playing on your own, are there like more than 2 or 3 extraction zones? They seem pretty limited.
I've only ever seen like 2 on the map at one time, or maybe 3.
And they tick down, right? They time out. Or they close down?
I don't know if they close down. They definitely disappear after somebody uses one, but I'm not sure if they just vanish on their own.
Okay. I haven't played enough to get the full flow of, like how that, we have to go, what are they, like 30-minute matches, 25-minute matches?
Something like that.
I haven't gotten the full flow of it yet. But enough where I kind of want to jump back in. I want to see what's going on there and try it solo. I'm not a big PvP person. When it comes to the thing, I think it's why I was attracted more to Arc of like, hey, maybe we're not going to PvP all the time. We'll see how this goes. When you were in solo, did it seem like it was pure solos, or were you? Because they have a solo mode, right?
I think that's by design. I think it can only be solos.
Okay, no duos yet, but when we were in groups we did a couple of matches as you and I did them together. It was hard to tell if they were full squads or not. I think we ran up against a solo who was in there one time, or at least they had split off from their squad because we got a kill and then nobody shot us, so I just assumed they were by themselves. But I think they have said they will investigate a duos mode, which would be nice.
Yeah.
Or you think anybody wants to do solo like 1v3?
No.
I wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
But good on them. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Bungie.
I hope it does well. Sounds like they needed to.
Trying to explain to my kids, I was like, look, this is pretty funny because they were a Mac, basically a Mac developer. Then Xbox bought them and they blew up the Xbox with Halo. And then Sony has them now, and Sony's trying to hinge their live service, basically, no offense to Helldivers too, but basically, stake a claim for live service with Marathon here So Bungie is just out there defining platforms, let's say. So good on them, and I hope they do well. They've earned it. They've earned a success. All right. Anything else you want to say about Marathon?
Oh, I think that's it. I definitely am warming up to it the more I play it. Mostly from the standpoint of wanting to get better stuff and fill those meters and get more upgrades and stuff. But
I'm curious. I'm going to try playing it. I think I'm going to play a little bit more of it next week, maybe with Drew or something. I'm trying to make a date, but I wonder if this will supplant Arc as my weekly multiplayer game.
Oh, for you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought you meant like broadly in the market. I don't think anything's going to touch Arc Raiders, but
I think they're too different.
They are quite different. This feels just a lot more quick, get in, get out, have a good time. Yeah. Get back in again if you want. Like it just feels
more a shooter.
It feels much snappier in the general match to match pace.
Yeah. All right, Alex Navarro. You said you broke the seal, and WWE 2K26 has been let into your house.
Yeah. Look, I know I talk a lot about how I don't watch WWE. I'm no longer engaging with WWE. I still have a very dark need to know how these games turn out because I have been playing them for so long and for so many years. So I cannot necessarily help myself in that regard. And this is definitely a do as I say, not as I do situation with regards to the company and its various leanings.
What do you say?
Okay, let's talk about a couple of things. Before we get into it, just real quick here at the top, since this will be our 1 yearly wrestling check-in, anything you guys want to know about where shit's at these days?
Not really. I heard CM Punk on a podcast ad hawking this game.
Yep. He is the cover man. He is sort of front and center in the showcase mode. It's a lot about CM Punk this year.
Okay, look, sadly I do have questions. We can keep
Now's
it
the
brief.
time.
We can keep it brief, but yes, we try to hold it for this spot.
Yes.
and remember, I'm not on a lot of sleep here. Is Vince McMahon still alive?
Roughly.
Okay. He is not part of the business.
Officially, no.
Okay. Who's running it?
Technically Triple H and Nick Khan, the CEO of whatever that company is that owns UFC and WWE now.
Oh, is Stephanie not involved anymore?
She is still at the executive level, I think, on some level, because she is married to Triple H, so she wouldn't necessarily have just ducked out of there after Vince was, you can either say run out or gently put to the side with the hopes of one day returning. Hard to say exactly where that will go in the end, but either way, Triple H is technically running the company.
Does Vince do anything public?
Other than occasionally show up in court, no.
Okay, but he's not in the ring or anything.
No, he doesn't come to the ring. They don't have him on camera at all anymore. There has been a lot of talk about him shadow booking things from the shadows and all of that, but like I nothing is really confirmed as far as I know.
Finally, well, maybe not finally. The most important is Linda McMahon still in the government?
I think so.
She's
still running education.
Is she? I haven't heard from her.
Education secretary again.
I mean, there's been some other things that maybe have taken precedence over her and her bullshit.
I believe she is, in fact, in office, yes.
And let me be clear, Triple H is very wrapped up in stuff with RFK Jr. in particular.
What? I didn't know about that.
They've been doing like some like health sort of initiative stuff with them. Like they're very tied to the Trump administration. There's no getting around it. It's not a thing you can obfuscate in any way, shape, or form.
Like I knew the McMahons were. I didn't know about Triple H, though.
I mean, he's married to the daughter, and the company is in deep with Trump.
Yeah.
And has been for many years.
And then, sorry if this is not clear or whatever, but where do they fall at like many other things? Where do they fall with the Saudi fund? Or with the Saudis? The
Saudis have been investing in WWE for a while now, specifically in the form of buying these, what the fuck do they call them now? They're not pay-per-views anymore. They are premium live events, I think is how they call them. They're basically the same idea as the big pay-per-view events, but they do special ones for Saudi Arabia like a few times a year.
Oh, so they don't actually have an ownership stake in WWE.
They might have an investment stake, but they like fundamentally they are owned by this company. It's the same company that owns UFC now.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is the same. That's been the case for a few years now.
Okay. Wait, so sorry, we're getting so far afield here. Dana White doesn't own
Dana White is
UFC?
still the head of UFC, but TKO, I believe, is the name of the company that owns both of them.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah. So, all that said, I'm not here to tell you about what's going on with the television product because I have not watched it literally in years now. I do still watch AEW from time to time, but that's kind of the extent to which I engage with American wrestling. That said, I still have a sickness. I still need to know how these games go. Before I get into the meat of the actual game, we need to talk about what they have done with this thing. The monetization rot has fully taken hold in this thing, but in a different way. This is how 2K has been going. Obviously, NBA has had a lot of stuff that had various hooks to get you to give them more money over the years, and WWE has kind of been moving in this direction more and more. So they've gotten away from the idea of just doing straight-up DLC packs the way they used to. Now it is all season pass shit.
Great.
So what happens is, and there's also multiple editions of this game, and that's where I'm going to start here, because this is where shit gets really wild. There are like 4 different editions of this game you can buy ahead of its official launch, which I believe is this Thursday night, Friday, etc. The standard edition, $70, what have you. The $99.99 King of Kings edition gets you some additional content, which include the Joe Hendry pack, who is I believe was at least one point the champion of TNA, a company that now is doing a lot of work with WWE, despite having been a rival at one point, and he's been appearing on WWE TV. There's some 78 early access, which all these different pre-order editions have, and some other like loose things. Now, the next...
That's $100.
Yes, and there's like a couple of different like versions of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and stuff that you unlock with this. And there is so that's the Attitude Era edition. There's also some skins from the Attitude Era, all that stuff. Then there's the Monday Night War edition, which is $150. Sorry, I skipped over the Attitude Era edition, which is $129.
Oh, wow.
That's the one that includes all that Attitude Era stuff. Then there's the $150 Monday Night War edition, which includes a few more skins, another arena, and some other like loose junk. And basically, I think if you get that version, you definitely have access to all the different season passes throughout the year. None of them expire, so if you don't play through all the season pass content when the next one comes up, you don't lose access to that stuff. But they have not tried to do this stuff this way before. I think if you do the math based on how they were selling DLC packs before, technically $150 up front is not worse than what you would have paid over the course of a year. But it is also just a big number to put on a yearly sports game, your maximum edition.
Like, I'm just looking at the Steam page, and like there's kind of a sticker shock to $150 being on a video, like a single video game, let alone one with a year number on the end.
Yes, because they will probably give you that exact same price next year for a similar roster of features.
Okay, sorry. I
this is breaking you a little bit. Feel free.
I was looking at the Steam page as well. Why do you get 2K25 with all of these like purchases?
So Steam will sometimes do that, where if you buy the new version of a game, they will sometimes throw in a bundle version with with last year's game, just because they know they're probably about to not get many more sales of that version.
Interesting.
Is this something they started doing last year? Because 2K25 has a farewell tour edition on Steam that is also $150.
Huh.
I don't remember it being $150 last year. Maybe that is them doing like a big late, like here's like all the DLC and everything roll up. But I don't remember that being the cost of I thought the pre-order maxed out at $220 last year. I could be wrong.
I mean, that could be something they put out after all the DLC was out.
Either way, it's a lot of money to get in early and get all the stuff kind of lined up here.
And I know what you said the stuff is, but like, how is using the stuff?
So what you end up doing as you play, so you have a carrot like a profile level, like a lot of these other games do, and as you earn XP just by playing the game, like that's how you earn XP, is by playing all the different modes, playing solo matches, what have you. As you do that, you just start unlocking new tiers, and sometimes it's like, hey, you unlock these 3 championship belts. Hey, you unlocked this one random, arena or some currency for the online mode or something like that. oh, here's a character that is part of this, so you unlock them for that. And so the different DLC groupings of new wrestlers are tied to those season passes. You have to play through them to unlock them. Or you can pay to skip ahead in the season pass. I believe if you were to skip from the beginning of the pass all the way to the end, it's something like $70.
Sure. Look, that's just, that's live service, baby.
Yeah,
you know?
but that's also, so that's different.
Yeah,
before there was not an extra cost attached to unlocking everything. You just kind of had to do it through the methods in the game.
Okay. I apologize again, but not really, because I have more questions.
Okay.
Alex, you brought this up, so I blame you. But the Monday Night War Pack.
Yes, that is the second from the most expensive. Or no, that is the most expensive one.
That's, you can buy it for $15 or it's part of that $150 pack.
Yeah.
Now, is this where the nostalgia is for wrestling? You get Macho Man Randy Savage 1998 edition.
So that's the WCW NWO version of him.
And there's a Piper version 98 edition.
Piper, it's older Piper. The model of Piper that has been in the game for a while now is more like the 80s version of him.
Yeah.
This is like the 90s, sort of like fighting the NWO version of him.
Okay, so this makes sense. So Shawn Michaels DX, that's
there's a lot of like Attitude Era stuff in here, but it doesn't really feel like it's manifesting in any of the major modes. Like the major mode is about CM Punk going back in time and correcting some of the big losses and other big events in his life. Like it is literally a goofy time travel story, more or less, of him just going back. And like there's one where like he is literally going back and taking Bret Hart's place in the match against Shawn Michaels, the Montreal Screwjob, and then do like rewriting history as Bret Hart.
Huh. Is that fun?
I don't know. It's stupid. It's really stupid.
Is it the right kind of stupid, though?
I can't tell yet, because they did some of this last year where it was sort of like, hey, we have some sort of like, the whole story mode last year, the showcase mode was about like Roman Reigns and the big Samoan lineage in wrestling. It was about telling the story of like the big Samoan wrestling family that Roman Reigns, The Rock, all of them are part of. There were also some matches in there that were sort of like, hey, rewrite history here, or hey, this is a dream match that never could happen because of time. And so it was a little loose. It was a little light that way, but it wasn't literally like CM Punk talking to the camera being like, no, it could have happened like this, but here's how it really happened. And it's just, it feels like this is what you do when you don't have any good ideas and WWE is giving you nothing to work with. So you just have to make your own fun.
It's a little Deadpool-esque.
A little, but like not quite that far in that direction. Okay. But I also feel like these modes have become so staid, and the history retelling over and over again has gotten so boring that I'm like, yeah, sure, at least this is different.
There's something interesting about this to me, just from what they're trying to sell and to whom they're trying to sell it, because this is late 90s wrestling. This is when is this called the Attitude Era? Is that when this is?
And this is the peak of WWE's like mainstream popularity back in the day.
This is when I was like doing some teaching stuff in schools, and the kids were like, I don't know, 8 through 12, let's say.
A lot of crotch chops.
And everybody was doing the crotch chops. Is this the Stone Cold time?
Oh, yeah.
And this is Austin 362.
But the story
315,
like the stories in the game and the history telling in the game isn't really about the Attitude Era. It's more just, hey, we're kind of throwing this in here because the Attitude Era did start around like 96, 97. And so we're just kind of paying homage to it through this stuff that you have to kind of pay extra for. But the actual modes aren't really based around it this year. They've done Attitude Era like history retellings before. They just aren't doing that here necessarily.
But it's interesting that they're not doing, what was they, like Superstar or the 80s people? Like
there's 80s guys in the game. Like there
are.
Okay. The rosters these days are a long mix of whoever the 200 or so people they have signed right now are, and then also a mix of people from previous decades.
Interesting.
But it's like that's what these are. Like these are history play sets. They are pro wrestling play sets that give you like a mixture of action figures from different eras.
And they just have all the rights to these people forever?
If they sign a Legends contract, yes.
Oh, that's okay.
So this is where it gets interesting, though, right? Like we've seen this, like when we've done quick looks for this mode, like these showcase modes before. They sign these people to Legends contracts, and for whatever the duration of that contract is, they're allowed to use them in various properties. They do have to pay them, I think, for the actual use, but like they are basically like they don't have to go through the rigmarole of signing a new licensing deal for them over and over again whenever they want to use them. So what will happen though sometimes is when they use archival footage, if someone appears in that footage that is not signed to a Legends contract and is not willing, or they are not willing to go out and try and negotiate with them, they will just blur their fucking faces. And
in the game,
in the footage. Yeah. So sometimes that manifests in really minor ways, like, oh no, Ted DiBiase Jr. can't be shown in the scene because he's not signed right now, and no one cares because who fucking cares? Other times, it's that time at WrestleMania when fucking Mike Tyson was a guest referee in a match, and they have to not use his character model because they didn't want to pay Mike Tyson. So it's a white guy you've never seen before who is totally genericized, like appearing as little on camera as possible.
Interesting. Oh, it's such a weird organization in so many ways.
Yes. I'll say it again. The reason I continue to engage with them is because I have a sickness, but also because in the last few years, these games have actually become reasonably fun, finally. Like, right around the time that WWE became completely untenable as a company to support, unfortunately, the video games kind of got good. So I kind of backed myself into a corner there. And so this Gears game feels good. It's fun. Like, it's a reasonably fun wrestling game. I cannot recommend anyone give WWE money. Again, this is very much a do as I say, not as I do thing. Recognize that I am problematic. Recognize that I have a problem.
Okay.
And do not go out of your way, because it's not good, so good that I feel like anyone who feels icky about giving WWE money will feel better by playing it.
Well, you're doing the due diligence so the audience doesn't have to.
I guess. Sure, I'll frame it that way just so I seem a little less like a fucking hypocrite, I guess.
Since I had the Steam page up, and I don't know how you feel about this, Alex, because you talked a bit or extensively about it. People do not seem happy about this price tag on it.
No, it's a bad price tag to have up front. Like, it does not look good when your game costs $150, even if it is with a whole bunch of extra bells and whistles on it. I think, again, if you do the math with the DLC packs and whatnot they have done over the years, this is only slightly higher than it would have been if you had paid for everything last year. But it's also not so much like the stuff that they are putting in the season pass and sort of the way that this season pass stuff is built out. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is a radical difference in the game. It's just a different way to keep its hooks in you over the course of the months. So you will keep playing it and keep playing for the stuff that you already paid for.
WWE. Here's the maybe this echoes into real life. Mixed reviews.
Yeah.
mixed reviews, let's say.
I don't think it's because the game itself is horrifically bad or anything. It is not. It is more just the pricing and the way that they are gating content that I think has people somewhat up in arms, and I kind of get it. I kind of get it.
Some of the quick running through there, a lot of the pricing. Some people said some of the online stuff maybe not working as well.
The online in these games is never great. Okay. So especially at launch, it's never good. Sometimes they even out, sometimes they don't.
And this is still Visual Concepts?
It's now, I mean, for the last few years, it's been exclusively Visual Concepts. Like, Ukis is all the way out of that thing.
Are they still making a thing?
After the AEW game, I actually have no idea what has become of Ukes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's WWE 2K26. There you go. And now you know all about it. And
do not be like me.
It's half the battle. We're going to wrap up the games here. I'll just say very quickly a game that I want to shout out because I've been having some fun with it. Played it on stream, and then I wound up starting over again. Esoteric Ebb, just the fastest way to say it is the more Dungeons and Dragons Disco Elysium like. Sometimes shorthand can be a little lazy, but really it feels like a Disco Elysium like. I mean, you see it as soon as you look at that game. Yeah. If you know what Disco Elysium looks like and you look at that, you're like, oh, that's like that. And I say that in a loving way. I think I think this is a well done and deserves to be talked about in that way. Yeah, I've seen several people who have finished it though say that it does very much become its own thing over time. Okay. I have not gotten way past where I was during that stream. I started over and been kind of just enjoying my time with it. Slow walk it. That is Esoteric Ebb. That is out now as well. You can go see us try that out on was it the Next Fest stream?
That was Grab Bag.
Grab Bag,
With
yes.
Samantha.
Okay, with Samantha. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about some news, some fun news this week. It's not all terrible. Some of it's not so great, but some of it's interesting. Stick around. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, and it is time for some news. Big news, I think, to finally confirm, to finally put a structure, a semblance of direction on what's been happening at Microsoft. Brad Shoemaker, we now have official confirmation that the rumored Xbox console PC thing is their direction.
Yeah, they've kind of talked around it without ever coming out and saying it. New Xbox head Asha Sharma, just cue your I was working on this and she just tweeted it out jokes.
Mm-hmm.
She just tweeted it out.
Okay.
On X, the everything platform. Perhaps you've heard of it.
How appropriate. Great start of the morning with Team Xbox, where we talked about our commitment to the return of Xbox, including Project Helix, the code name for our next generation console.
Oh, just gonna drop that, huh?
Project Helix will lead in performance and play your Xbox and PC games.
Okay, look, I know we've talked a lot about Asha Sharma's history with AI and whether or not they're gonna do it, but boy, that really just sounds like you read an AI, an automated post there, Brad.
I think now just all boilerplate sounds like AI is the problem.
Or is it more that AI trained on decades of corporate speak?
Yeah.
But I guess they hadn't come out and said we'll play PC games. Like, it's been discussed to death so much that I couldn't remember how much they themselves have confirmed, but she just came out and said it. Hey,
this is the move.
The next Xbox is going to play PC games.
Project Helix.
Project Helix.
We're back to good code names.
Helix.
Or code names.
It's like DNA. Games are in our DNA. Here at Xbox, gaming is in our genes. I don't know. Yeah.
I was see. My initial thought went, "That's pretty good. That's probably more likely." I went to like, the two, strands intertwined.
Yeah, I mean, the logo is exactly enough of a helix to look like an X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a console and gaming bridged by guanine.
Yeah.
So this is basically just official confirmation that this is the move they're making. This is what they're going to do. A lot of questions, obviously, to be answered, like anything concerning the implementation of this, the price, the structure, the dates.
Oh, yeah. Like, there's not much substance in this. This is really just them confirming that this is the direction, giving a code name, which is never the final name for the box. It's just, hey, when they talk about this project, now you know what they mean.
Yeah.
Except for the first Xbox.
Yeah,
where Xbox was the code name that just became the name. But yes, you're not wrong.
I think this feels to me very much like them reading the tea leaves, understanding that people have a lot of questions about what the direction of Xbox is going to be going forward, and giving the easiest red meat they possibly can just to get people talking about anything else other than the specifics of this power transfer that is currently ongoing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to her. This is not an ineffective way for her to establish some legitimacy as the new head of Xbox that has not worked in games before, to just kind of look like a straight shooter and just be like, hey, this is what you think it is, or this is what you've heard it is. We're doing it. Like, I'm just going to come out and say it on week 2 of my tenure.
So,
the question is how they follow this up.
Yeah, totally. 100%. I mean,
yeah, and these are all, I'm not trying to actually undermine anything here, but this is stuff that must have been in the works for a year or so.
Oh, yeah.
This is
the
her announcement or the nature of the box?
The nature of the box.
That's been in progress for probably 5 years at this point. Like, probably since the Series X shipped, or even before.
You think that early they were talking about a PC hybrid?
Yeah, you hear, well, maybe not that exact direction, to be fair, but like, you hear all the time when you don't get this opportunity very often. Mostly, Mark Cerny notwithstanding, like the people that architect video game consoles are not out there talking in public that much, but Like, you definitely can hear things along the lines of like, yeah, we've been talking about what the next box was going to be since the day before the previous box shipped or whatever.
Right. Yeah. But I mean more kind of like, a strategic change to be like, hey, this is what we think will survive under a person's television set. This hybrid PC console box. It's, this is where we think the market is. And given our like profoundly disadvantaged position in the console space, this is where we can differentiate. So maybe claw back some space. I think since we've not officially heard this from Microsoft yet or Xbox, I think the thing that I want to hear in a not so polished speech is why we think this is the move, why we think people will be attracted to this over a pure console experience from their perspective, right? Like what they think is the big sell on this, to be like, look, we think you're going to bring your PC library over from other partners. Is that a sell?
Well,
yeah,
it is. And also it does create an interesting conversation that I think I'm not sure how equipped they're going to be right out of the gate to answer it. But if you're talking about what they're actually describing here, which is a thing that is much more designed to be sort of a catch-all box that handles both, the Xbox exclusives and PC games and all of that, what you're actually competing with in that space is not really the PlayStation 6, because by all accounts, Sony is not going in that direction. They seem like they are, in fact, doubling down in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're actually competing with at that point is Valve. Like, you literally have a different competitor set and a different goal in mind than what your primary competitor has been up to this point. So I think you need to be able to answer the questions about what does that say about the nature of Microsoft and Xbox games going forward? What does that say about our general position in how much of a competitor are we treating Valve as? Do they belong in the same category here in this conversation with Sony and Nintendo and all of that? I mean, that remains to be seen based on how well that box does. But it does kind of change the nature of what they are competing against in a way that I'm not even sure they're really thinking about, or at least as far as like a marketing perspective is concerned. Like, I'm sure they are thinking about Valve, but people are going to be talking about them in a very different way if this is really what the focus of this thing is going to be.
Yeah, it's too many question marks still. Like,
and with a new CEO, that makes it more challenging because she's coming in here and looking at plans that have been made for years now.
Yeah,
things that were already in motion.
Right? Yeah.
And so she has to not only understand what Xbox is, fairly quickly, but also understand why they have made these decisions and why they are going forward with this stuff. And I think that by the time Summer Games Fest comes around, I feel like they are going to need to be able to have some more firm answers, not necessarily about the actual nitty gritty of the console, but like where they are positioning themselves going forward.
Well, I got a couple of things. One, again, a lot of questions. Full integration. If Valve does become a competitor, if they actually see Valve as a competitor in the hardware space, not just the software space, do you get full integration with the Steam library where it's just basically sign into Steam on this machine and you're going through the Steam ecosystem, or is Microsoft going to get its beak wet with every transaction on this
Valve?
box, right? No, I mean Microsoft. Are they gonna, if you buy something,
they going to do something like Steam in that regard?
Or are you like, if you buy something on Steam on this Helix, would Microsoft take a pinch?
Oh, I highly doubt it. I don't think there's absolutely no way they could get away with something like that.
Right.
Valve would tell them to completely get fucked.
Right. So like, by allowing that on there, are you basically just saying like, look, you've got all these games and we'll build the hardware for you?
Yeah, it's too early to say yet. I have a ton of questions about the technical implementation of this stuff, which really just boil down to, is this thing just going to run vanilla Windows, or is it still going to be some kind of custom OS layer where they're having to do business deals with, like, are they going to have to get Valve to sign off on a Helix specific version of Steam,
like a build, right?
Or does that even extend to the individual game level? I doubt it, because that would be impossible with the number of games out there they'd have to deal with. But like, I don't know what the whole stack of this thing is going to look like. Nobody does outside of Microsoft yet.
Yeah.
So like, until we know what the entire like hardware and software stack and business layered on top of that looks like, there's really no way to predict exactly how this is going to go, because like it's really worth keeping in mind that for as much as the last 2 generations of consoles moving to x86 have made a lot of people think, oh, the consoles are just PCs now, they are definitely not. Like there are still,
for a closed system,
there are still some very key differences.
There are still like major architectural differences under the hood between a way a modern console is designed and a way a PC works.
Yeah.
And so my question, like, it really seems like there's 2 ways they can go with this. They can design this thing more as a generalized PC that can run existing OSs and games, or it's going to be still a more bespoke thing with more compatibility layers shoved in there to make non-console stuff work, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
A lot to unpack, and who knows which direction they're going with that stuff, but like
I think those are big questions. I think that's legit. Do you think any of this happens if not for advances in DLSS and frame gen and image scaling to make this possible?
Probably not. Yeah, in fact, almost definitely not.
So I think that's really interesting. Do you think some of this...
This is kind of a little bit of a tangent. It's been wild watching people talk about Resident Evil Requiem on the Switch, and people going like, or Switch 2, and people going like, this, you know, it's obviously not the PS5 Pro version, let alone the PC version, but it's like shocking how good this looks and how much they are getting out of this thing on this little tablet-sized thing. And I find that really interesting alongside all the comments, which are understandable, but like they're all the comments about like, why do we need a PS6? Like, it feels like this generation was underexploited to begin with, which is true. Like, that's definitely true. But the thing I would point to with the Switch 2 is the Switch 2 is benefiting from all of the technologies that the current consoles missed by a year.
Right.
Like, the Series X and PS5 came out right before machine learning, upscaling, DLSS, ray tracing, all that stuff really started coming into its own. And so, like, the Switch 2 is downstream of those technologies, and these consoles are not. I'm not advocating for, hey, we need a PS6 tomorrow, to be clear, but there have been like major technical paradigm shifts on the back end for how games are made.
Hardware.
Yes, on the hardware side, that the consoles we have, with the exception of the PS5 Pro, which does have a lot of that stuff, as we have seen and are continuing to see, but like, so yeah, anyway, that's a roundabout way of saying to your question, like, no, absolutely, those things are hugely informative of this shift and the ability to theoretically be able to deliver this kind of thing at a price that people will be willing to pay, even though it's going to be very high.
I guess to my point, right, to say, hey, you'll be able to play your PC, you'll have a PC experience on this box with something that's been hardware locked for years, and that has to come in. Let's just assume, because we've been around this business for a bit and people listening to this are not idiots, has to come in under $1,500. They'll be very generous, right?
Right. Can't believe we're even like talking in these. Well,
what choice do we have?
Generous, right?
A, it's crazy we're even talking in those terms. B, then you have to ask like what slice of that is this thing is more powerful than a normal console, and what slice of that is the insane supply pricing crisis. Like, everything is upside down right now.
But it's weird because look, I'm being a little bit of a naive person here, but let's say the argument being like, well, if it's over $1,000, how much better than a console is it, and how much worse than a PC is it, right? Because you're not getting into the PC market in a very I'm sorry to be kind of blunt, but in a kind of serious way for under $1,000, just because of the price of video cards. It's just they're just very expensive.
Yeah, which kind of recalls the conversation about the PS5 Pro price at the time, which $700, very expensive for a console.
Yeah,
not expensive at all for a powerful gaming PC. Like that's like very low for a gaming PC that can run games like that.
And to your explicit point that these are closed systems and systems on a chip, and you do custom manufacturing, can kind of get around some of that.
There are optimizations and efficiencies that you can use on a fixed target like that the modular PC does not have.
Abby's been having we've been playing Resident Evil, really weird graphic anomalies we're trying to iron out in some of her DLSS and frame gen stuff in Resident Evil 9. Not sure, stuff I've just never seen before.
Yeah,
like
me too.
Weird, like swimmy blocking and weird things. Though I think that technology has been proven and is going to move forward. a little weird, at least on that implementation of it. Is frame gen?
Yeah, that sounds pretty game specific. Well, the frame gen stuff I can't speak to, but
yeah, is that how? I don't keep track of this stuff. I think nearly as much as you do in certain circles. Is that stuff still pretty accepted, or people don't love it? Like the combination with that and the latency stuff.
Most people hate frame gen. Like just anecdotally, okay. Just if you watch. I mean, maybe I shouldn't take too much from like Twitter conversations because it's all rage bait and stuff like that, but. I feel like a lot of people kind of draw the line at frame gen, like upscaling of existing frames is one thing, but when you're inserting extra frames into the pipeline, there's inevitably some latency there. Now, NVIDIA, I don't have a 50 card, but NVIDIA put like insane amounts of like very futuristic sounding work into the way frame gen works on the 50 series. Supposedly, some people say, like Will has a 5090 and he said he's played the newest frame gen games he's played. He kind of can't tell the difference.
Doesn't feel it. And what's their thing called? Reflex for their low latency, like their
Reflex is the thing that optimizes the input latency.
I mean, the reason we bring that up is because, probably this console will take advantage of some of that stuff and hopefully be able to match where PCs are when this thing launches.
Like AMD has been like several years behind NVIDIA on most of that stuff, but they have finally caught up in a pretty major way in the last year or two. And so by the time these things come out, like they should be very robust in that sense.
So a question to you guys and a question to the audience, because, we have a sample size that goes beyond our bubble, but like, where do you think this pitch would be aimed? People with existing PC libraries or people who are looking to broaden outside of the Microsoft ecosystem?
I think it could go both ways. I think it could be like, hey, you've got a pretty good PC library. You like playing games on the PC. Maybe you don't love managing driver updates all the time and stuff. And like if there were a best of both worlds where you could bring all your existing Steam games over and simplify with a thing under your TV. Because, look how excited people are about the Steam machine. There's absolutely demand for a box that can buy the cheap games on Steam that run better than a console, but still have a pretty console-like experience.
But is that audience anywhere in the same neighborhood as what a typical console buying audience would be?
Yeah, very, very possibly not. Or there's
I think price is the big thing you're dealing with there, is that once you go past a certain number, there is just a very steep drop-off from, casual console buyer to deep enthusiast.
Maybe the bigger potential is in the other direction, the console buyer who is PC curious.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, you can stay on a console-like experience and get everything in one place.
Right.
Now you can play Steam games on here and still it's an Xbox. It still plays your old Xbox games. I don't know where that leaves the like pushing 100 million PlayStation 5 owners though. Like PlayStation still has enormous brand loyalty and now people have multiple generations of PlayStation libraries built up that would not carry over. So I don't know that puts a dent in that number or not. But I mean, the thing I keep going back to is I don't know what the fuck else they do at this point. Like they can't just make another Xbox, this another console. Like that's done.
You're right. They have to do something.
They had to take some big swing, and this seems like as sensible a try as anything.
So, Microsoft will put its stuff on the PC in the Microsoft Store and probably on Steam, right? Where do you think this falls? Say we're in 2027. We're going to talk about this in a second. Actually, let's just segue into it with Valve's announcement on their hardware, right? They say Valve says they're going to launch in 2026, right?
Well, I mean, it's a backpedal is what it is.
Actually, this is a very interesting story. You should probably read how it started.
It's a non-announcement of a non-new. I don't know how to even frame this. They put up their year in review for 2025 that was just like, here's everything we did this year. And one of those things was to touch on announcing the Steam machine and frame and all that stuff. And there was language in there. I saw this as it went up and then
that's funny.
Quickly within hours saw it be amended. Here's the lineup of hardware we announced in 2025. We hope to ship in 2026. But as we shared recently, memory and storage shortages have created challenges for us, ...
Right. We hope.
If you recall, previously, all the messaging had been, we will be out in the first half of 2026. We don't have a date for you yet. So then that line is pretty unambiguous. When you say we hope to ship in 2026, that certainly raises the explicit possibility that they will not make it out this year.
Right. Their best intention.
Every tech blog in the world was like, oh my God, like Steam machine shipping date is in doubt. And they very quickly provided statements to people like The Verge and amended that thing to say in very definitive terms, we will be out this year.
Well, can you read again now verbatim? Because it's kind of funny.
I don't have it in front of me. We shared recently that there have been challenges with memory and storage shortages, but we will be shipping all 3 products this year.
I love that they just went, look. So, I mean, that's great to hear just in terms of...
well, is it though? I don't know. I mean, well, the question is, was that just like some imprecise language that should have gotten in front of a couple more eyeballs before it went out the door, or was that a slip? Was that a revealing slip of how things actually are?
I think that was an underestimation of how quickly people just seize on everything now. Like that was here's the thing. In a standard conversation, just saying, yeah, we still hope to be out this year, is normal. In a normal world, you hear that and you go, okay, well, they're still targeting this year, whatever. Well, nothing's normal now. So when you say, oh, we hope, there's already a seed of doubt there. That's just what you're like. People are going to latch on to that.
But I mean, we should point out here there has already been slippage in what they have been stating, because even the amended statement says we will be shipping this year. When prior to this, it had been we will be shipping in the first half of this year. So already they are softly saying it might slip at this point.
And they're not. Things shipping this year might not mean full availability for everybody this year, right? It might be limited availability, it might be tough, like with the reasons they say they're hardware constrained and price constrained. All right, so let's say this thing, we get this December 31st. Let's say we got a new Xbox sometime next year, maybe end of next year.
Right.
What's the difference between these machines?
Which ones? All 3?
Between this, no. Between the new Project Helix and Valve's, was it Steambox? Is there
Windows and Linux
Steam machine?
Those are the differences.
Yeah,
well, that is a difference. I think that is
functional difference.
There was actually sorry. There was something it's too much fucking news. This happened literally in the 5-minute break we took right before this. That a headline, GDC is going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
A headline came out of GDC. I'm literally just reading it from Windows Central because I haven't had time to read this story yet. Microsoft brings new Xbox mode to Windows 11 PCs next month. Prepares major gaming advancements that lay foundations for next Xbox.
So that's funny. So, I was gonna just ask that. How much of this comes into the PC side?
So I mean, they have to. That's what I was alluding to with does Helix run plain ass vanilla Windows or a modified OS that has got customizations? Like if it's the former, well, either way there's got to be some amount of like unification between the platforms, because they again are not just the same on the back end. I have not had time to read this. I can tell you just from a very quick skim, the Xbox mode thing coming to Windows 11 next month appears to just be an interface thing. Like
once again, a new.
Well, it's basically going to be a full screen. You can like press a key to get what kind of looks like the Xbox dashboard. Basically, it is your SteamOS style front end for booting if you boot a PC connected to a TV running Windows and you want it to just kind of look like an interface, like an Xbox.
Your big picture mode.
Yeah, it's like a big picture kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look at it. When I first saw Xbox mode, I was like, are they bringing backwards compatibility for Xbox games to Windows? What's going on here? But it seems like that's just an interface thing. There's also the other part of the story, which again, I have not had time to look at, is Microsoft is pushing a unified GDK game development kit that allows developers to build for PC and by extension have their game be ready for the next gen Xbox.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, like there's like some early hints. Additionally, the GDK also makes it easy for developers to compile their games for the current Gen 9 series of Xbox consoles, which is the ones that are out now. So
yeah.
Anyway, there are some hints now coming out in the developer space about how they might be handling this stuff.
Like their ecosystem going forward?
Yeah, so I mean, to Alex's point, like, yes, Windows versus Linux is a difference.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the only one, but it is a primary one.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger question is it a meaningful difference for people who don't really care what OS their console runs and just want to play the games?
I would say it depends on the state of whatever version of Windows they put in that box.
That's the consumer side. I guess what I would ask, and people who are out there in our community that are developers, is it a just wait and see at the install base? You brought this up, Brad, of like this ecosystem, right? Like what is this? What is Helix going to be ecosystem wise? Will you have to make what do they call it on the Steam OS? A deck compatible, or like make sure
like deck verified is
verified, right?
Is how
do you have to make a Helix verified version? Is it worth the time for you to do that on the install base for the Helix, or will it just work flawlessly? If it works on a PC, will it work flawlessly? Or because I don't have a Steam Deck, but not everything just runs well, right? Like
definitely not.
Yeah.
But they're pretty good about flagging what doesn't.
A huge amount of that on the Steam stuff is the Linux compatibility layer. Like a ton of so they immediately leapfrog over that problem by having this thing run Windows.
Well, I guess TBD to see like what that architecture is, right? Like will just native Windows 11 support get you native Helix support,
that is
right?
that's the if they launch that thing and like Steam games have to be massaged to work on it, they are like dead in the water. Like if that thing can't just run the majority of Steam, who knows? I feel like I'm getting out over my skis here because I don't know what the business considerations are. We don't know.
You would think though, right?
We don't know enough about the technical implementation, but yeah, just from a user experience standpoint, if you say like, hey, play your Steam library on this thing, enormous asterisk. Yeah. And it's like 10% of Steam games work out of the box, or what, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not such a compelling pitch if a huge chunk of your existing PC games don't just work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be really interesting. And the Steam box, I think I just on my AYM Thor just put their Android version of compatibility layer for playing Steam games to try some of that out. It's also using Proton and I think one of them might be Wine based. I don't know enough about all the details, but there's like two big ones out there that you can load on to try and get your Windows games on your Android. And it's interesting to see what's happening in those spaces, trying to, they're not perfect. And actually there's three of them. One is a little techie. And people are just like, you basically have to have all three if you want to try and get your library running on this thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder a lot of TBD here. I hope we see more about the Helix, obviously. Alex, you think Summer Game Fest, we get more information? I mean, it sounds like GDC is at least getting on the developer end of things, some stuff.
I mean, not here are a lot of firm details about our box, but I do feel like if Microsoft is going to have a presence there, they're going to have to answer a lot of questions that are starting to bubble up now.
Maybe we get some bullet points of what this thing will do.
Yeah, I bet they'll. Well, I don't know if it'd be that concrete. I could see that they'll have to address it. They absolutely will have to say something about it this summer. But I wouldn't expect full details on this thing until probably next year sometime. Or
you think it's a late 27 launch?
That I don't know. That's never been a harder question to answer. How fucked everything is right now.
Yeah,
27 is what the roadmaps were rumored to be before the supply chain problems, but I don't know now.
Do you think this could be like hardware constrained because of you think they would like put lower memory or hard drive space?
Oh, you mean like
the actual hardware?
How
like
you mean the specs of it?
Well, I guess at some point it's not cheaper to do lower.
It would be tough it might be tough to pivot at this point. Like I'd say these things have been designed around certain baseline assumptions that cannot be abridged at this point.
Because you said, again, I don't want to put this on you. You don't have to take the role of super hardware guy, but didn't you say at some point there was like slower RAM or the fabrication process? There was just more of it happening versus the high end RAM, which was being gobbled up.
Was that for are you thinking of the PS4, Xbox One thing?
I was thinking, no, it was like the.
Oh, you're talking about right now.
Yeah, right now.
I was thinking back to there's a whole story about the RAM in the PS4 and Xbox One, but
no. Like,
you're just talking about
at making like lower clock cards.
You're just talking about yes. Yes, I think they're bringing back the 3060 was the one they were talking about putting back into the channel.
Okay,
to try to help, but also like DDR4 memory is getting really expensive now because DDR5 is impossible to get. Like,
okay, so it's just trickling down all over.
Yeah, it is. Just on the launch timing, I don't know how much credibility to put into this stuff, but there's like everything is so much like leak and rumor these days. It's impossible to distinguish like who is just out there grifting and who has actually got like hard, tangible information. But this makes sense to me. Like you're starting to see this scuttlebutt that it might be more expensive to delay those consoles than it would be to just take the hit and
interesting
paper launch them, like put them out, like just keep your schedule.
Huh.
Whether I don't know if that,
and whatever supply you get.
Who knows what that means on the pricing end or how many you can make or any of that stuff. But like, it might be, you know, again, when you're planning these things years in advance and all the timing is like very tight and very mapped out, that like it might cause more problems than to delay them than it would be to just ship them
right
and eat it on whatever end you have to.
And we've talked about it before. Maybe some of these contracts are hammered out for supply chains in advance. Hopefully we hear a lot more, and from the Valve side of things. So that's the Xbox Project Helix, the code name for their next machine, confirmed to in some form be a PC hybrid, and with your console. Oh, my dog is very upset about what Xbox is doing. And then the Valve doubling down that 2026 will be their year of hardware.
I'm still going to put just like a hair of uncertainty even under them doubling down on that. I'm just going to say you should leave 5% room for extenuating circumstances broadly.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
Or maybe maybe don't expect to have your hands on one even if they launch for a bit. All right, Sony, not to be outdone, says, well, you guys are talking about hardware. I'm talking about A/B testing on prices in our store here. You guys have heard of dynamic pricing and what that means. I mean, kind of loosely defined as changing the pricing, sometimes based on availability, sometimes based on who you are, sometimes based regionally, sometimes based on your spending habits. Dynamic.
I feel like referring to it as surge pricing triggers the appropriate level of revulsion when people hear it.
Because you should revile this.
Dynamic pricing is a thing that immediately sends shivers down my spine. It makes my gag reflex go. It sounds like from some reporting here, this is mostly coming out of PS Prices. It's a PS Store price tracker, that around 100 games have been seen to fluctuate in price up to 17.5%. According in some territories. It's not in US and Japan. Oddly, again, from not my reporting, I'm reading this from Video Gamers Chronicles. Oddly, the reporting says due to stricter regulations in the US and Japan, which you never hear about the US ever, but dynamic pricing, what they're calling it, for people who are signed in, are seeing prices on first party and some third party games move around, usually or exclusively lower priced at this point. Right. So they're confidently saying here that they believe this is dynamic pricing happening, that Sony is A/B testing stuff to see what the demand, I think they use the term elasticity, is for some of these products, things that are not moving. If we lower the price, hey, maybe if you saw God of War for a little bit less, would you be more inclined to buy to get in there? Again, mostly, and we had somebody write in and kind of confirm this, again, not in the US and not in Japan, that they have seen this as well. They kind of logged in, saw their prices, logged out, and saw other prices.
Yeah, there's stories just rampant about this and different, like I Googled for some just kind of like Reddit conversations about this, like saw somebody talking about like, yeah, I signed out and signed back in with my wife's account on PSN and the game was $5 or $10 cheaper. And it's and then you're like, well, I'd rather have it on my account because that's where all my games are, but also it's $10 off. You know what I mean? Like it leads to these crappy decisions that you have to entertain.
So according to the PS prices, again, that store tracker, they're saying people are randomly being tested, A/B tested in this so far.
Yeah, that makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah, that maybe that's their data they have. I'm not sure if they've Video Games Chronicle doesn't necessarily say if they've actually heard back from Sony necessarily, but you know, you could see them testing this out. I don't know if this would be a rewards thing. What do you think happens? I'm going to ask that question. And I'm going to say first, personally, I think even if the prices are lower, I still don't like it.
No, because I again, the place for this is in running sales. You can, and certainly you can run regional sales if you really want to do that. But like this kind of micro targeting thing is the thing that I find particularly galling. Like I don't have a problem with you lowering prices to try and move product. I have a problem with you doing it selectively because whatever fucking insane data operation you have going on under the hood there has done some math and decided that you are 5% more likely to buy this if it's $3 cheaper.
Yeah, like that uncertainty around that stuff is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, just...
It also creates an environment where there's an industry of reporting on price. Oh, the Wario 64s of the world, right? Who might say like, hey,
you are killing Wario 64. You are killing him.
The terrifying thing is like, is this just our Minority Report future coming to fruition? Like, it kind of seems like it. Like you've been seeing this.
The precogs know you'll buy God of War.
Like precogs is a computer that is entirely designed to make money math happen.
I mean, the really insane one I've always seen reference to is like grocery stores, where they can kind of micro-target based on your cell phone where you are in the store and how much time you spend in various spots. And like there's the idea of changing the prices on things based on your kind of movement and buying patterns and stuff. Like this just feels like yet another version of that kind of thing, but it's a bummer.
I'm not going to give Sony the benefit of the doubt. They don't deserve it necessarily, but maybe they're testing stuff out to see if lower prices in this A/B testing, if lower prices, I'm trying to separate it from actual dynamic and surge pricing.
Sure.
If lower prices move products and if they should have sales to, hey, does 10% off on God of War actually move it? Okay, we should roll that out more often. Maybe. Or they're doing the thing which I cynically think is more likely, of testing out based on purchasing habits and data what you're more likely to buy, which I think is a trend that sucks. I think that's
not
boo.
a fan.
Boo is what I say.
Yep.
So TBD on that. It's not something you can necessarily hide. It's not something I think it's more of a, will consumers stomach it? And what's the response? Because it's not, you can't sneak it out there. Everybody's going to talk about whether things on sale or not, especially at 17% off. And look, again, I'm a little bit of a cynic, but maybe it's earned. I don't think you make the prices higher dynamically, but here, but that has been reported on in other industries where prices do go up based on not just down.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
like,
it's all relative and arbitrary, though. Like what is even higher,
right,
and lower when you're setting the prices. Like maybe the baseline price is the higher elevated price.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was going off of the launch price. Like, are you reduced from launch price?
Oh, you mean like you're not going to go above what it cost when it came out?
Yeah.
One would hope.
One would hope, right? Unless. I don't know. It's not a great. I don't like it. But maybe they're just testing out stuff. A little optimism there.
Mm-hmm.
Not so optimistic, Alex, is what Negoshi Studios has going on with NetEase. Yeah,
so Negoshi Studio, for anyone who doesn't remember, specifically, this is the studio that is founded by, basically the man who was more or less the head of all things Yakuza for many, many years, basically since that game's first installment, Toshihiro Negoshi. So he left to found this new studio in 2021. This game was going to be his new Yakuza, more or less, even if it wasn't a direct one-to-one. It is a crime story in a third-person action game. This was going to star the Korean actor Don Lee. We got our first look at it.
Looked pretty baller.
Yeah, looked pretty fucking baller. And it got its first look. What was it? The Game Awards, right? Is where that trailer first originated.
Like 3 months ago.
Another fucking notch on the belt of the Game Awards of weird shit happening. But so now NetEase is pulling out.
Are you wait?
I'm saying the Game Awards has killed video games. If you appear on the Game Awards, you will die.
Are you saying there's a Game Awards curse now that is starting to generate?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am furthering that evil right now.
All right. Sorry. Please continue.
Well, in this case, the curse specifically came in the form of funding being removed. So NetEase was one of the primary investor in all things Negoshi Studio, even though they are technically an independent outfit. And so what was learned is that NetEase is pulling out a lot of its game investments in general, not entirely, but it seems to be centralizing a lot of stuff internally, similar to what Tencent is doing. But also, this game apparently was not ready to be done in the immediate future, and in fact needed another 7 billion yen investment, which is about $44.4 million in current money. And that's not nothing. I mean, it's not crazy for something that is supposed to be competing in what I assume would be the AAA space. But I imagine that if NetEase is already tightening the books, the idea of throwing another 44 million at this probably just wasn't that appetizing.
Yeah, and I guess we can't know how far along the game is because, vertical slices get done. Like, you can make a game look presentable even if it's like nowhere close to finished, but like the stuff they showed looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to know exactly how close to release this is other than the reported amount of money they need, but like
that's a lot of current money, as Alex said.
But also it seems like there's quite a bit of game there already.
Yeah,
like the screenshots on Steam right now look pretty much like a video game. Like they could be mocked up, but I doubt it. Like it is crazy.
It could be a slice,
crazy for a game from a well-known and respected. I don't know if I'd call Negoshi an auteur exactly.
But like a guy who is a creative force, especially in modern Japanese game development, and is telling some of the most well-liked stories in video games.
Totally. I try not to credit too much to one individual with stuff like this, but he's a very prominent name. They've got a well-known, popular actor. Mm-hmm. Like the game looks good. It looks like a high-quality production. Like it's just crazy. All the major pillars of this project to just potentially kill it this close to the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't know how close to the finish line it was because based on some of the reporting that's in the Bloomberg story and whatnot, it sounds like one of the frustrations may have been that this game took a while to come together.
Yeah, it is entirely possible that they got their budget and did not make it on time. And, this may be a ran out of money situation and they're nope. Sorry.
Or just spent too long trying to find what the direction was going to be. Because I do think it seems like now they have it. Like, it feels like they're showing trailers and they're talking about, getting further funds to complete it. I have to imagine things started to lock into place. But that much money, and with NetEase already starting to like I said, tighten the belt, so to speak, that probably just wasn't that realistic for them. And maybe just the fact that it took so long is what ultimately maybe is going to sink this thing. They are looking for other funding, but it sounds like that has not been coming to fruition for reasons that should be obvious considering the ongoing funding crisis in video games right now.
And that price tag. Yeah.
So the only thing I'm going to say about this, other than, understanding there are certain business conditions attached to this, is that I am so fucking mad they showed this. I am so fucking mad that we even got to look at this because I am having that fucking Kevin Garnett and Uncut Gems response of, why are you showing it to me if I can't fucking have it? Why? Why?
It's going to be a real bummer if nobody comes in and picks this up.
I don't know. I have no answer. Alex and Brad and everybody are, you think we're in a situation with the money and the situation with funding for these games, people leaving companies, like I don't know the timelines on these, but lining up investment, lining up capital, basically like being at a company, thinking about leaving, maybe go doing a thing and being like, oh, we secured funding.
Yeah.
You can leave this place. I don't know if this happened with Respawn, the ex-Respawn people as well. And being like, we're going to start a studio. We've got funding backing. And then having that rug pulled out, right? Like kind of midstream or near. Basically, like, it seems like companies are not willing to see things through maybe like they used to or just they just ship,
Yes, but also let's not forget the timing we're talking about here. Negoshi Studio was formed in 2021. Can you think of anything else that was going on in 2021 that might have led to, like, say, an overinvestment in certain areas?
Nothing comes to mind initially. I think we're all,
It had nothing to do with, like, free money kind of going around because interest rates were cratering and people were just like, oh, well, we can throw a bunch of investments around, see what happened, buy some shit. And then those chickens have been doing nothing but coming home to roost over the last couple of years. Now, I'm not saying they did anything wildly irresponsible with Negoshi Studio, but it seems like that's part of the overinvestment of that time.
Yeah, it wasn't just the low interest rates. It was also that consumer spend on video games was through the roof during the pandemic, and everybody got dollar signs in their eyes. And then, wait, that's not going to last forever.
So I guess my question or my pondering, really, it's not really even a question, is would this have even happened if those would he have ever left? Would things have changed there? Was there, it was getting a little long in the
I got
tenure.
the impression that once they started wrapping up the Kiryu stuff, he was already kind of looking for an exit. Like not in a, hey, I want to get the fuck out of here, more like I have other things I want to go do. And maybe the game that he wanted to make was not the game that RGG Studio was going to be able to make.
Yeah, he was he was chief creative officer of Sega by the time he left, which I did not realize. He was not just running that one studio. So
yeah,
I don't know who can say what was in his heart or what financial variables were here or whatever.
Right.
But, like being that high up in Sega leadership, maybe he was just maybe he just wanted to make a game.
Yeah,
and run a studio and not have to be like an executive for all of Sega or something. Who knows?
And it's funny to say that because, I mean, again, the game he seemed to be making was something that was very much in the wheelhouse of what he was best known for at that company, but it isn't Yakuza. And maybe that's really all he really wanted, was the idea I can tell this kind of story or do this kind of game, but free of the burden of expectations and all the years of built-up cruft around those stories. I can do something completely singular and detached from all of that.
Well, like you said, they're looking for funding along with the other.
Hope they get it. I'm not optimistic, but I hope they get it.
Yeah, odds that this gets rescued. I don't even know how to answer that question.
I mean,
I put them low, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not to be too big a jerk, but it's like, I don't know, ask the other, 3 or 4 studios that also had their NetEase funding, cut out from underneath them.
Yeah.
Like it's rough out there.
Yeah, because whoever comes in to save this is not just going to have to fund the rest of the game development. They're also going to have to do business with NetEase for
buying the assets and things like
for
that.
the assets, the work that's already been done, etc. So it's probably not a small ask, but
unless they go in like co-publishing or maybe they make a deal. I don't know. NetEase just seems like they're really clamping down and pulling out of all these.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a company-wide initiative,
projects.
Right?
Yeah. All right. We got people making announcements. We got people pulling out of announcements. We got people announcing things that maybe they can't deliver, like Valve. Maybe they will deliver it. I don't know. But you know what doesn't stop?
The Nintendo
Mario.
machine.
It's always Mario time somewhere.
That's right. It was Mar 10 yesterday.
It really was, wasn't it? That's not since Valentine's Day have we had a forced holiday upon us.
Listen, I pray to Kyoto 5 times a day to Mario for a greater benefit of my life. And it is my spirituality. It is how I live my life. We all worship Mario time.
Look, you literally have like a Mario idol in your house. So
yes, I do. And my wealth has grown exponentially since it has been brought into this household.
Your Mario money idol. Okay. Nintendo has been dumping trailers for their new Mario Galaxy movie. They have now dumped. They had it. Well, not dumped. They had a Nintendo Direct.
Let's keep going down that. Let's say dumped. Let's just say dumped.
Dumped their latest trailer during their Nintendo Direct on Monday, right ahead of Mario Day. To get out in front of it. All right, Brad, you have not yet seen. I say yet because someday
you can drop the yet.
I
have not seen the Mario movie.
You have not seen the Mario movie, Alex. You have seen it.
Oh, brother, have I ever?
I think you and I both agree, as fans of not only Mario but of Mario movies.
Mediocre.
I think it's a totally.
It's a mediocre.
Yeah, it's like a. I don't know what is it? It's like a pleasant day. It's like
it's not even that pleasant of a day. It's actually like a slightly annoying day.
I don't know.
Slightly annoying is how I would put it.
It's just like they did the thing. I don't know. It was like I did not find it offensive, nor did I find it completely entertaining.
Go ahead.
Well, let me just state my absolute feelings on this. I have no problem with children's entertainment being a little bit basic. Like, that is I think I'm completely fine with. I can live with it. I've been entertained by plenty of even other movies made by this same studio. Illumination. The Mario movie is not uniquely terrible by any stretch, but it is the least interesting one of these I have maybe ever seen outside of the license.
Okay. Caveat, I have not seen the movie, but I've seen trailers for it and for this new one. And like the thing that stands out to me is like basic is fine. generic is not when it comes to Mario. And like all the humor and everything that I want nothing to do with this movie because all the humor just feels like every other animated movie made for a mass audience.
Sure.
That's come out in the last 10 to 15 years, right? Like maybe some Pixar stuff aside or whatever, but it's just like, it's really just the Chris Pratt problem. Like it's really just, it's the fucking casting of Chris Pratt
kind of sucks.
Is really emblematic of the entire problem with this thing. You know, like it just doesn't feel like it is. Again, whatever. Take these comments as seriously as you want, because I have not and will not see these movies. But something that feels less like everything else in the animated space and more identifiably, characteristically Mario, would have made a big difference. But
more K-pop demon hunters, less just really doing the paint by numbers with the Mario movies. Now, this movie's not out yet.
Despicable Me.
I don't know. Despicable Me is all right.
No, I'm saying, but it's not good at trying to be that. It's not by that Illumination style animated movie does not benefit the Mario universe at all.
I think my biggest thing is it plays it way too safe. The Mario movie played it way too safe and was kind of boring for it. Yeah. And so this is Mario Galaxy. They put out other trailers before. But the big news, I think, in this one, we got some casting for Yoshi. Yoshi's in this movie. Donald Glover.
That's the whole reason I even put this in the news roundup is because it contains the words Donald Glover as Yoshi.
Which is, from the trailers, he basically just says, Yoshi. Which I hope that's it for the entire movie. Like just because I think it would be very funny if Donald
just all the celebrity pairings, the celebrity Mario character pairings for this thing, Chris Pratt aside, have been consistently entertaining from the beginning.
Yes, they read very bizarrely on paper.
Yeah. Yes.
Was it Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach, right?
Yes, Anya Taylor-Joy is
and
Peach.
Now
and Zendaya is Michi.
And Rosalina is Brie Larson.
I guess that's a newer one.
So I knew the character was in this movie. I didn't know who the actor was until Alex told me right before this. But apparently Luis Guzman as Wart.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Which really, the one thing I will give this credit for is it really spits in the face of all the people who are like, Mario 2 is not actually part of Mario canon or whatever the fuck they try to claim. Like, those aren't real Mario characters. Go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Well,
like Wart and Birdo and a bunch of ninjas are all up in this thing.
Phanto would not exist were it not for that game, motherfuckers.
It does see, and again, I'm not here to be your frame by frame. Let's walk through the Mario trailers here.
Mm-hmm.
But from watching the trailers, and not just this recent one, I think they're doing a little galaxy hopping here. There are many universes.
This is 100% a multiverse. Yeah,
Mario-verse.
So I'm guessing the Super Mario Brothers 2 stuff is like they have gone into some other universe,
the
multiverse,
dream universe,
or galaxy,
the better universe where Mario 2 got its due.
Hell fucking yeah.
The most ridiculous thing I can say for this, aside from the casting and trumping the casting, is the direct had the you're holding the cast hostage for this junket vibe. Is everybody Jack Black blink twice if you're okay?
Yeah.
As they dead-eyed read these like blurbs off the teleprompter.
So again, and we were talking about this offline. I'll just say what I said there again is that I've seen a lot of bad celebrity junket appearances over the course of my life because, again, I have a lot of weird sicknesses and I watch some of this shit from time to time. This is different. Like, this isn't just the usual, like, hey, I'm Chris Pratt and I'm here to tell you about Jurassic World or whatever. Like, it feels stressful for the people involved in a way that I feel like I have rarely seen. And I feel like this is that Nintendo taking a firm hand and being like, you will read the words as they are written. You will not diverge from them. You will do nothing to assail the Mario brand. You will do as we say. Miyamoto is back there with a gun. He will kill you.
It does feel like every once in a while you do see like somebody's eyes maybe shift a little to the left to be like, we're good? We're good.
This is Miyamoto. I have your family.
It starts with Charlie Day and like Chris Pratt doing the like, we're gonna pitch this movie. Let's do the thing.
Yeah,
and then let's go.
Did I do it right? Did I do it right? Please don't tell me.
Oh man!
Look, we're trying to find our own
seems
fun
so
in this.
tired. They all seem so tired. Look, we're all so tired.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not saying this movie can't be good. I have very low expectations after the first one.
I hope they have a little bit of fun with it. Have some fun with it. You're putting Super Mario Brothers 2 stuff in there. Be silly.
Yeah.
Have some fun.
Get stupid with it.
Yeah.
Do a Mario Paint joke in there somewhere. Find a way.
Well, yeah, but do it in a fun way, not just like the corniest paint by numbers way.
I mean, they would probably just do a duck amuck joke, I would assume, if you're doing Mario Paint.
Like somebody's drawing
Mario, and Mario has to fight whoever is drawing him.
That would be more clever than what I think. I think they're going to hand him they would do it. They would be like, hand him a mouse or something and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then we're done.
And then for 5 minutes of the movie, everyone would be saying Mario is missing, just so they can say they did a Mario's missing joke.
Oh boy.
I wrote a better movie probably than what they actually have just now.
Yeah, you should do some punch-ups.
They should let me write Mario 3, whatever it ends up being.
What they're at Mario Galaxy already. What is a Mario 3?
Koopa Kids.
Koopa Kids in this.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because I know, but Bowser Jr.'s in this. Are the Koopalings also?
I don't know. I don't know about the others.
Yeah, I don't know if we get the extended family yet. Maybe we got maybe they go to New Donk City
I really don't know.
In the next. I mean, they're gonna make more. Look, this is coming out like next week. Actually,
it's coming soon. I think it's like April,
like
right?
3 weeks. Yeah, it's like April 1st. April Fools, everybody. I'll see it in a theater. I'm not too good for it.
I am.
Yeah, now I know.
I don't have kids, so I can't like hand wave away the excuse of like, my kids needed to go see it.
They didn't love it.
Yeah, because your kids have taste.
Did they see the Minecraft movie?
Yeah.
What do they think of that?
They didn't love it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, did they run around doing the chicken chaser thing? Yeah.
Look, we are not immune to the memes. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what they loved? That Dungeons and Dragons movie.
That is a fan-fucking-tastic film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, they have taste.
Yeah. K-pop Demon Hunters, big hit.
Yeah,
like that one a lot. Yeah. Catchy. Earworms. All right. That movie's going to do record numbers.
It's going to make $7 billion. I have no illusions about that.
We're old and crotchety, shaking our fists at this popular thing. But
I hope Donald Glover buys a lot of cars and buys a bigger swimming pool. I don't know. Like, cash out your Yoshi paycheck for this one. Everybody get paid is what I hope. Chris Pratt. Sure. I think the Pratt hotness is probably
not what it used to be.
I think it's not what it used to be. I don't see things coming up, or maybe they just don't make movies anymore. Could be.
They also don't do that.
All right. That's going to do it for the news. Brad Shoemaker. Got some emails in there?
Yes, I do.
Did they come in at podcast@nextlander.com?
I believe they did.
Wait, podcast@nextlander.com?
Let me look at the header here. Yes, in fact, they did.
Podcast@nextlander.com.
That's
What
right.
do you got in there?
Jimbo asks a question. Is Mortal Kombat an FMV game?
No.
It's much to think about here.
Pit
Just
Fighter
because it
is,
has...
Mortal Kombat's not.
Pit Fighter is.
Oh.
Man, that's a tough one.
No, they're both not.
No, I don't think they are. Because I think the differentiator here, and Vinny, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong in your mind.
Okay.
The differentiator here is that just because something has filmed video in it does not make it full motion video.
Yes.
You are
What if it's
watching
just-
animations of existing video being used in a video game format versus just a full-on, here's a video.
What if it's just extremely low frame rate video, and also it's kind of non-linear video because you're walking the frames back and forth depending on what you're doing, but it's still kind of video.
It's not the same. It's not the same
think
thing.
if you have direct control over your character.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the serious answer to this question is no.
Yeah.
It's still kind of a funny question to me.
It is a funny question.
There have been FMV fighting games, and I can't name them
have
off
there?
the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure there have been games.
What?
Or let's maybe say FMV fighting sequences where you have to do an action in a loop, right? And it's like punch or kick or
Hang on.
uh-huh.
Mortal Kombat 1 has those video sequences for the character bios, which are actual video.
Oh, that is true. No.
That FMV Rushmore email caused a pretty contentious discussion on our Discord about what constitutes an FMV game.
You know when you see it.
I'm with you. I am with you.
Yeah.
Like there were people arguing that unless the FMV is like core to the gameplay mechanics, it doesn't count, which I roundly reject.
You roundly reject.
Yes, like they were saying Wing Commander 3 is not an FMV game, for example.
Oh, no,
see,
I think that is.
Like that is.
You think that is an FMV
in some
game?
ways, it is the most FMV.
I think that's a game that has FMV in it.
It's closer to straddling the line, but I still call that an FMV game.
If you were doing a taxonomy, Brad, and you had to sort with only one tag on your database, would you put Wing Commander 4 under FMV? Or would you put it under space action?
Yeah, it's probably still a space sim, but
I know what you're saying.
As we identified nearly 20 years ago in Game of the Year awards, genres
they're terrible,
meaningless, and too overlapping to be taken seriously.
Like, here's the weird thing. I don't think here's a weird one. I have not played all of Wing Commander 4. Maybe I should someday. I have played some of it. It was kind of an oddly
a 3 or
3 with 3 and 4. Which one had Mark Hamill?
They're both. Oh, okay, they both have tons of FMV. 4 has no Kilrathi though. So
okay, so 3 has the Kilrathi giant cat costume.
Yes, if you want people in gigantic space lion costumes.
Okay. I think that's the one I have a copy of. Was that an expensive game? I feel like at the time it felt expensive.
I don't remember it being any more than any other game.
Okay.
It had incredibly high system requirements, though.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
It was pretty directly pre 3D Accelerator. It was a Super VGA 3D game on PC right before 3D accelerators became a thing.
Okay.
So it was high res graphics running in software effectively. It was very demanding. It ran like absolute shit on my computer.
Maybe that's why I don't have a memory of playing a lot of it. But I would personally not categorize as an FMV game. And here's the weird thing, is how silly this all is. But I would maybe vote for it as one of the best FMV games. Does that make sense? I wouldn't say it's an FMV game, but I would say, man, the FMV in that game puts it into the running for best FMV. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
It's a weird distinction.
I mean, you can say the FMV needs to be core to the gameplay, but you could also just as easily say the FMV has to be or is core to the storytelling. Like you could say a game that exclusively uses tons of high production value FMV to tell its story. That's still a core element of the game that makes it an FMV game.
Also, like if you search your soul, if you go inside and you search your soul, no, you got to do it. What do you remember about the game? Is it the dog fighting in Wing Commander 3, or is it the giant cat costume?
It is Mark Hamill talking to somebody in a giant lion costume.
Yes. So there you go. There's your answer, people.
Yep. It's Tom F. Wilson mugging for the camera.
That's what you remember. All right. Another email?
Sure. Let's see here.
Oh, actually, while you look at that, Brad, there's a thing you unlock later on. I'm going to go back to Resident Evil for a second here. This is not a spoiler, but they have some behind the scenes stuff you can unlock. Boy, howdy. It is some goofy ass, non-intentionally funny shit happening on the mocap.
Oh, man.
That's the Resident Evil scene.
That's exciting.
Oh, it's exciting. Speaking of FMV, where you're like, what do I remember most about my 13 hours with Resident Evil 9? Probably this 3-minute video I watched with the mocap sequence.
Now, do you have to spend your precious Capcom points to unlock it?
I think I got it for free. Okay. I don't know if it's because I got all the documents or something like that, but like they do this thing. And I don't know if this is in all motion capture or performance capture things. And we'll move on in just a second here, where they show the mocap scene, and then in the corner of the frame, they have that locked camera on their face.
Oh, you don't see that very often.
But it's rigged and locked, so the movement is always locked to their face.
Yep.
It looks so weird. And they're showing the scene from the game while the people are doing the performance, and it doesn't Their eye lines are all weird in the performance capture. They must have had to tune it up in the game. It's just a really weird thing.
You don't see that.
Check it out.
Usually you just see a shot of like a static shot of the actors doing the scene on the mocap stage. They don't often show you what the facial tracking camera sees.
It had that like late 90s drug induced filming technique.
Or it's like the music video thing where they put a camera on the neck of the guitar.
Yes. It is that, and it's very disturbing. Yep. It's very, very weird. Anyway, next email.
I have come to really enjoy footage of actors on mocap stages doing video game scenes.
Can't wait to see what you think of this. It's also the thing. I don't want to hype this up too much. I was like 2 a.m. and I was watching it. It's like somebody acting their guts out, screaming, okay, with like a really bored grip. Sitting there just holding their arm because that's where like they would be strapped into a bench or something like that. So like they'd be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And you're just like,
oh yeah, oh yeah, that stuff's great.
In ping pong ball suits or not, anyway.
Like cue the shot of Norman Reedus from Death Stranding 2 where he's eating a piece of pizza and on the stage he just has a gigantic cardboard triangle in his hand that he's taking bites out of.
Oh, I love it. All right.
Good stuff.
Next email.
This might be an all FMV edition. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm not going to hear me complain.
Rye from SF. Apropos of your podcast conversation about the Mount Rushmore of FMV, I thought I would remind you of Steven Spielberg's early foray into computer game making with Steven Spielberg's director's chair. I have no memory of this product.
I don't know this one either. What, do you know platforms?
I think it was PC only, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Don't know what year did this come out. There's a link here. 96 this came out. So was almost...
I feel like we should know that.
If you're not familiar, this game stars Quentin Tarantino, Jennifer Aniston, and Penn and Teller.
What?
And lets you make your own movie by stitching together different FMV clips. My father did the sound design and was friends with the producer, so me and my brother ended up being selected as audience members you can interact with when watching your final feature. The back of our heads even ended up on the back of the physical box. He attached a picture here with their heads circled. You can click on us and hear our very young voices saying very stupid things. I've not played the game since the 90s. It did not sell well, though apparently was very popular in Japan. But it's a fascinating part of game history that I somehow managed to be a part of, even though I have no connection to the game industry outside of this. I don't expect it to make the Mount Rushmore, but I thought I'd call attention to it in case you weren't familiar with it.
We're definitely checking this out at some point.
Oh, we have to.
Yeah.
I wonder how playable it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure this will be one that is fun to get running. But
I'll check it and see if it's on that. What is that? Win 86, the project. Exo
Win. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the back of the box, I mean, this is exactly what you would expect a mid 90s FMV make your own movie thing to look like.
The Academy Award-winning producer of American Beauty is the person who produced all the live-action footage.
All right.
Wow.
Sure. Steven Spielberg knows people. Yeah. Wild.
All right. One more email?
Yes. This one is maybe not quite as FMV related, but Zach from Minnesota. The Mount Rushmore of FMV question got me thinking about a related Mount Rushmore question I had.
Okay.
The Mount Rushmore of movies where people entirely missed the point. Examples.
The audience or the people?
Okay. I think the audience. Examples would be Scarface, American Psycho, The Wolf of Wall Street, RoboCop. Generally movies where people came out with a strong desire to emulate the main characters.
I see.
Despite the point.
Despite the whole point of the film being that is not a person anyone should ever want to be.
Yes. I mean, not an aspirational figure.
Like maybe this is like somewhat recency bias, although it's not that recent, but I feel like Fight Club is basically the George Washington of this.
No, I think Scarface is the George Washington of this. I think Fight Club is the Abraham Lincoln of this. Not the least of which because Abraham Lincoln was literally in the Fight Club video game.
I guess you're right. I guess the Tony Montana, like the Scarface vibe is so referenced and pervasive in culture as being like cool or aspirational, right?
Yep.
Sure.
So those two definitely. I'm trying to think where the other two would be.
I mean, are there movies where people have gone and misappropriate? Does it count when a tech company misappropriates a piece of science fiction?
Yeah, I mean, sure. If I mean, this is not a movie, but you could kind of say The Lord of the Rings here.
Oh my gosh, like Palantir and Mandrel,
dude.
Yes. Isn't there like a Skynet or like a fake Cyberdyne or somebody else who named their company?
Surely nobody has been that fucking on the nose to call their AI company Skynet, right?
I thought there was an actual Skynet.
I feel like you're not making that up, but I cannot remember the specific thing. There's a lot of these. I mean, Wolf of Wall Street is a good one. I feel like, similarly, Wall Street, generally speaking, is in that same general vibe of like people who actually thought greed was good.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. I'm a Gordon Gekko.
Yeah.
I want to be Alec Baldwin from Glengarry Glen Ross. Like that's the person I want to be.
Yeah. I feel like that one less so because there's so much talking in that movie that people who have less of an attention span are less likely to latch on to it.
For sure.
Okay.
Yes. Like Starship Troopers is kind of up there.
Oh, yeah. You could basically say the entire Verhoeven Hollywood oeuvre was largely misunderstood by anyone who watched it, at least initially.
You think Breaking Bad
is like the TV number one example of this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or do you think most people get it?
Sure.
I think a lot of people get it now.
Okay.
But I think back especially when that show was airing, there were so many people who thought Walter White was like some sort of aspirational
hero.
badass.
Yeah, totally. I'd say there was a pretty good chunk of people who got it at the time, but yes, there was probably I shouldn't say the majority, but a huge percentage of people thought he was a hero.
He's a hero to me, damn it. Yeah.
If I sit here and think about it long enough, I'm sure I can come up with dozens more. But
you mentioned Uncut Gems. Does anybody look at Adam Sandler's character as the hero?
I'm shaking my head vigorously. I think the only thing you can attach that movie to, as far as like people missing the point, is degenerate gamblers not realizing the movie was about them. That was it.
Oh, okay. Like, yeah, you can make a lot of money. You almost got away with it. Let's see. Probably any Al Pacino movie, really. He could probably go down. I mean, he never played. Well, he's made a lot of movies
over the years.
Yeah,
too.
He's made a lot of movies. Like the Devil, a sympathetic character.
No, traditionally.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's
many more. I'm sure I could think if I sat here and thought about it long enough. But I feel like you have to say Scarface, you have to say Fight Club. Anything else is a little interchangeable, but there are plenty of other big examples.
I think this resonates with me more, and like what we talked about when you mentioned Brad, was people appropriating literature, sci-fi and fiction, and being like, I'm going to pillage these ideas and apply them to my sick tech company because I'm a monster. How are those things not copyrighted in certain uses, maybe they are, maybe they just don't care.
I don't know.
Break it and move forward.
I just listened to a podcast about mid-century libertarian science fiction, and it's informing of the current like tech Silicon Valley libertarian push.
Yeah,
went pretty deep on people like Heinlein. Speaking of Starship Troopers, went pretty deep on Heinlein and people like that.
The moon is a harsh mistress.
People are kind of fucked up.
Yeah,
some weird shit in there.
There's some weird shit in there.
So strange character.
No such thing as a free lunch? Is that the moon is a harsh mistress?
I don't know. I've never read it. It sounds very possible, though.
Yeah, right. I don't know if he coined it or maybe he appropriated it. All right. That's it for the emails?
Yes.
Then that's it for this here show. We got a bunch of stuff going on. We're shaking it up. But first off, we are wrapping up the Watchcast with your pick, Alex, going up next week. We're going to record this tomorrow. Talking Heads, a concert film.
Yes.
Maybe my first concert film.
I don't know how that's possible. I
know.
I mean, I don't imagine either of you are like the sort of people who would like immediately run out and go watch any old concert film by any stretch, but I figured like one of them might have bubbled up for you. Like I was actually surprised, Brad, you never like watched like Sign of the Times or any of like the Prince concert stuff.
I never have gotten around to it.
Is Summer of Love a concert film?
You mean Summer of Soul?
You mean like the Woodstock?
Oh, Summer of Soul.
No, that's
Summer
a documentary.
Soul, no,
that's a documentary.
That's a documentary that has concert footage in it, certainly,
Sure.
and the concert is a big part of it, but that's not the only thing it is.
Okay. Yeah. God, I know I sound like an idiot, but I'm not even sure what I'm about to watch.
I just want to be clear. Like, I don't want to oversell this. It's a really good concert movie, but it is not some like otherworldly thing or something that like changes your understanding of music or anything like that. It's just really good. And also this just kind of ecstatic feeling experience. That's it.
Okay. All right. I'll make sure to just watch it on my iPhone.
Great.
Like I'm sure
the way Jonathan Demme intended. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll have that going up next week, but then Alex, we will have a break from the Watchcast for 2 weeks.
For a couple weeks.
We will be out next week, and then Alex, you will be out the week after. Next week we will be closed. Nextlander will be on vacation, but we'll have a new Ramble cast, and we'll also have a older Never Been a Better podcast going up in the podcast feed. So you can check that out. But that doesn't stop what's over at patreon.com/Nextlander. If you're like, wow, there are no live streams this week, you can go over there and be like, look at this buffet of things we have on patreon.com/Nextlander.
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff waiting for you. Tons of Never Been a Better podcast, Ramblecast, Video Ramblecast, Planoromas. You can see how things have aged in a Planorama. Go back into the past and be like, man, I remember when they talked about this game or forgot to talk about this game. It's all there for you to see. All of that stuff, even if you want to stay up to date with the Watchcast, you can catch it over at patreon.com/Nextlander. Find a tier that is right for you. In exchange for helping us, supporting us, making this possible, we try to offer some goodies in there for the people who sign up and support us directly through Patreon. There is one tier that gets their names read on this here show. Alex Navarro, do you mind reading our mysterious benefactors for this week?
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Thank you.
Our mysterious benefactors for this week are The Good Vibes Will Continue Until Morale Improves, Alpha Rhythm, OpenAI Delenda Est, David L., Kelly F., Brian Lucier, Skywarp, Jason Grimm, John Hubbard, Thordreen, Evan Cook, Jerry Lee, Deirdre, Level 90 Affliction Warlock, Pugtato, Fiends vs. Bunnies but in Australia, Jad Rita, Statics, Sending Good Vibes Back to Minnesota and Beyond, Brian Murphy, Randy Duax, Randy Alderson, Andrew Tiebkin, Alex Wu, It Me JP, Edward Chick, Steve Lynn, Matthew Herrig, David Campos, and Tyler Treese.
Those are our mysterious benefactors for this week. Thank you so much to all of them for supporting us, making this possible. The last independent games podcast on the internet.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's quite a claim.
No one's going to check us on it, so might as well go with it, right?
We are directly supported by our fans. We do have some ads here on the podcast here and there, but really we are only able to do this because many people who are listening to this have gone and supported us directly at Patreon. That's the only way this is possible. We try to avoid doing sponsored streams or doing tie-ins because we want our bad opinions to be ours. And now they're yours, and you own them as well.
You may have my bad opinions. You may not have any other bad opinions.
That's right. In a world where corporations try to own every part of you, Nextlander says, no, we belong to the people.
You can lease your opinions from us.
That's right. Okay, no backsies, though.
Mm-hmm.
And we will check. But honestly, thank you very much for everything. Not only do you allow all of our content to happen, keeping us independent from places like relying too much on YouTube or Twitch or other places that may shift things around. You allow us to pay people who come join us, like Abby Russell, who is doing a Resident Evil 9 playthrough with us, and Will Smith, who comes by to play multiplayer games with us, and all the friends who come by and join us here. You support them as well by supporting us. sometimes with good vibes and sometimes financially, because we also believe in compensating people for their time. So thank you very much to that. Speaking of which, go back and go check out Samantha Coleman, who came by to show her game. Versus, you can go check out that. What she said was, and I'm not making this up, an exclusive reveal. And so I'm going to stick with that.
I have no reason to believe she'd lie to us.
World premiere. And you can go actually back Samantha's development and go check out Versus as it makes its way through its early stages of development as well. They have a Patreon, the team there does, and a podcast, she said. So I checked that out. Fellas, this is going to be it for a little bit. 7 days.
Yeah.
1 week.
Well, 2 weeks for me.
2 weeks for you, Alex. So I hope everybody's doing well out there.
Mm-hmm.
I hope during the break we get a little refreshed. It's so weird. I think, Brad, you said this maybe during the Ramblecast we did, because we had to record one in advance. It just feels like so much happens all the time.
Yeah.
So when we come back,
who knows where things will be.
I hope everybody's doing all right.
It's like, that apocryphal Lenin quote about weeks where decades happen.
Yes.
I don't think every week is supposed to be that all the time.
It just, there's so much all the time. So I hope everybody's doing well out there. Hope you get whatever you need to do done, Brad and Alex, in our weeks off, week and week off. And I hope the audience out there continues to support us, and I hope you're doing okay. We'll see you soon. Thanks for supporting Nextlander again. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
And thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
We'll be back soon. See ya.